Draft season. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, hit that follow. Let's go. That's my baby. That's my baby.
We're going at it at 110%.
I just want 5 minutes of happiness, please. Just give me 5 minutes.
And they scored. They did it.
Left, feet left.
What the hell was that?
Oh, yeah. What the fuck are you talking about?
Hi, folks. Bob Mannery here. You're listening to A2D Radio, real sports talk radio for the fans, by the fans, no agenda. These guys are the best in the business. Hashtag it. No notes.
This is draft season, which is something I really don't like talking about because I want to be good and it not matter. But here it is, and here we are. This is A2D Wednesday night, only on A2D Radio. We are brought to you by the Counseling Center and Sunrise Detox. Many of us and our families deal with mental health and addiction issues. We're happy to support the Counseling Center and Sunrise Detox. If you need help, please call 856-651-8117. Tom Arnone, Ralph Del Vecchio, Ryan Brodo, Nate Moss, Frank Vespi, Greg Mokovic join us shortly. Noah eating popcorn, playing with the dog, right? Not joining us tonight. Wasn't for the whole Lenny interview, but not joining us tonight. We got a ton to talk about, so thanks for jumping in with us. Sixers rebound without Embiid. With Embiid, sorry. So you saying without him. Sixers rebound with Embiid, and a great response, and we'll talk about some things, some takeaways from last night's win against the Celtics. So we'll get in that. That's going to be the last part of the show. Phillies start 5-1. We were just talking about before we came on. Exciting times. All right, and to beat the teams you've beaten. Okay? It's one thing to start off 5-1, but to beat two teams that are projected to be better than you is a way to start your season off. We'll have a poll question based around the Phillies that we'll get into later on in the show, probably the middle part of the show, and that's going to be Rhys Hoskins based. So I'll save it. Little tease they teach you. They don't teach you that anywhere. You either can do it or you can't. Main topic at hand, Eagles and our top 5 draft needs. All right, so something different that we haven't done we'll do tonight in terms of the draft, and it ties into our poll question brought to you by bodycheckwellness.com. And you can use promo code A2D for 20% off. That's bodycheckwellness.com. Promo code A2D, 20% off. And our poll question is, if I can find it because there's a million things back here now. The Eagles need to select a defensive player in the first round of the NFL draft. Do you agree or disagree? Let us know. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch. That's where we're live. Everywhere you get your podcast, we're there as well. Please hit that like button. Hit that subscribe. Hit that follow. Come join us. I disagree. To me, it doesn't have to be one way or the other. And I know that's like taking an out on it. No. Usually years, it's like, yes, we need this specific thing, right? Like usually years ago, we've been good for the most part, right? That it's like, you know what? We need this. This is the piece we're missing to whatever, get to a title game per se, right? That's what it's been for the last few years since 2017, okay? It's like, oh, we're a piece away. We're a piece away. Well, now we know we're not a piece away, right? So now we're really in the definition of who's the best player there that's not a quarterback. Who's the best player there that's not a quarterback? And it's as simple as that. That's what it comes down to in this draft more than any others. If that's a left tackle, then I got to deal with it, right? I love Sewell, but I don't want another left tackle, right? So like there's certain positions I don't want, and I would assume that they're not going to target. But at the end of the day, it's the best player. And there's going to be guys there at 12 that can be stars in this league. Can you find them? Can you find them? Can you just hit on one? Because it's got to start somewhere. Like we could talk about we need this guy, we need that guy. We've done that ad nauseum. We'll do it even more leading up in simulators and all that other shit. It's not about one guy. Right? It's not about this specific guy, Nobody knows who's going to be there. So when it does fall on 12 on draft night, we're all sitting here and we're going to see who's available. Then what does it become in our minds? Best player there. Who's the best player there? Right? Who is it? Who do we have ranked highest on our board as the best player there? Now, we got to hope that their guy that they have ranked highest there, right, is the guy when it comes to that, because nobody knows how the first 11 picks are going to go. We can assume, we can do a million simulators, but it always plays out a little differently. Somebody will reach, right, and get cute. Somebody will think they're the smartest guy in the room, and it'll set things off that can go in a different direction. So we'll see. But for the first year in a while, it's not one position side of the ball or the other. It's not one side of the ball or the other. It is who can be a guy that can play in this league for 10, 12 years and be a star. Because I got to start somewhere again. And I like the signings. I like what we've done on the defense. 2 Vikings guys over here that have played well, right, at points. So we'll take them, especially a linebacker and a safety. Hey, we'll take you. We're like I said about any signing early on, right? You sign me a guy who has a pulse and can play, I'm going to say, okay, because that's what it is over on the defense. So do I want a defense player? Sure. But I don't want to reach for a Farley at 12, okay, and overlook a Devontae Smith say. No, then I got to go receiver, right? There's positions I might want to go over other ones, but it depends how the board falls to me. And that's where I'll stand with it. And I'll let you guys in the family obviously jump in and give your thoughts. The Eagles need to select a defensive player in the first round of the NFL draft, agree or disagree. And I'm going to disagree, not because I don't want a defensive player. Best player. It is more than any other goddamn year of us watching Eagles football. So
Go ahead, Ralphie.
Enjoy.
It's this whole question is so tough because, like you said, Tommy, it could go both ways, right? Whatever was on your board, offense or defense wise, I mean, it's best player available at 12. If your guy's not there, right? But you know where I'm going with this. I'm gonna agree to the poll, baby. And there's one position and there's one guy I'm looking at right now.
It's a punter, right?
And he played at Penn State, and he's a linebacker, and he ran a 4.3 at his 40-yard dash.
So did I.
Break your heart again.
And Michael Parsons is my guy at 12 if he's there. If he's not there, give me Devontae Smith.
First off, about the pro days, I'm not buying any of it.
My God. You never like the pro days.
Well,
you
no,
never like the pro
I ran a
days.
4.3. Everybody's watch is I mean, everybody in the country's running under 4.4s. We got linebackers running 4.38s. Are we okay? No.
Hey,
He should go number 1 overall. If he's running,
he's a track guy anyway, right? Like he ran track. You know what I'm saying? So he knows how to run. So
I like Parsons though, Ralphie. So
absolutely. And I'm a linebacker guy, so I got to go agree. I have to.
They'll never go Parsons though.
What happens if Parsons not there? You're like, right, you're bored right now. You're telling me you assume he's going to be there. But what happens if he's not then?
Then I'm going to if Smith. Then my backup plan will be Devontae Smith. Easily.
Okay, so that would be a caveat for you to disagree to it in a way,
yeah.
Right? Okay.
I have to. If Parsons my number 1, I have to go agree. Have to with the poll question.
Yeah, they're gonna break your heart, Ralphie. I mean,
oh yeah, I know they did it last year at 21 to me. They're gonna do it again this year at 12. So,
like, listen, and that's true, Mike Murphy. That's true. What was it? Well, you said a couple weeks ago, Tom, was a 4.75 official.
Yeah, 4.75. Yeah.
Wow.
No heavy.
Yeah, I think I ran like a 4.44 last week.
Okay. 210 too, by the way. I know. I'm not going to say. I mean, I got a football guy below me. I don't want, you know what I mean? I got to watch what I say. Before I get blindsided going over the middle. But I was paid.
I would love to see that recording on that 4.75 because who was taking that time, Frank? Get the fuck out of here. 4.75.
Guy was squatting 350 at the time. I think that was low. I think that was high. I mean, I think it might have been a little faster. I think everybody was out to get me.
4.75. I'd love to see that shit.
I'm 38. You need sundial.
Yeah, I would love to see that. I ran a 4.89 at Villanova Pro Day. That was at 295.
You're 295. I was at 210.
I was fucking cooking. I was fucking cooking down that 40-yard dash.
You thought you were cooking. That's why you played DN. You weren't cooking as much as you thought you were.
Hell no, I wasn't cooking. Hell no. Fuck that. That was slow as balls. But some of them boys out there, man, they weren't. It's really networking. When you get to those pro days, those pro coaches know who you are, and if you come from a small school, you have to wow them, like literally wow them. If not, it's all about who you know and who you network. There was a guy there from Georgetown that they knew he was a tight end, but he was fucking trash, man. He was fucking trash. We did drills. I'm like, yo, you guys like this guy? I'm like, come on, man. He fucking sucks. But I do have a question for you before I get lost in that, because I've been drinking, fellas. I've been drinking. So, before I get lost in that, you said best player available, Tom. What if Fields is there?
Well, it depends on where a guy like myself would have Justin Fields on his board.
Where would you have Justin Fields as your board if he drops at 12? Let's get into the details.
This is what I was hoping would happen.
Other guys that would be there. Give me some other names outside of Justin Fields that could be there, and let's see where I'll go.
All right, so the tackles there, Swell. Was it Swell? Is that how you say his last name?
Sewell's there.
Sewell, Parsons, Fields, and one of the corners. Let's say
Horn.
Let's say Horn is there.
3 out of 4, I take over.
Really?
Yep. I don't know about Horn. Them two
I'm
are
pulling the trigger on Fields, man. I'm pulling the trigger on Fields.
With Jaycee Horn, like for me, where he's projected to be at, I feel like if we take him at 12, I feel like it's a slight reach. But if for some reason, which I don't think is going to happen, if we trade down and Horn's still there, I'll be fine with Horn at a later pick. But at 12, just not where I'm at with that.
Yeah, I don't think Fields gets me better than Hurts.
Really?
Yeah,
when he did in that Clemson games, you think, woo? Because he got banged up, he got hurt. That was a big time defense he went against, and he still got up and threw for 4 touchdowns.
I know, and that's all great, and that's all cute. But the other guys got rings too. So I mean, the same guy, the other guys, they're like the same player to me. They're almost like the same player. These pro days don't do nothing for me. They do nothing for me. They change nothing. I like Fields, but I don't have him higher than Parsons. Parsons come in and change your defense for the next 10 years. Is Justin Fields have the ability to change your offense for the next 10 years over Jalen Hurts? I don't know. That's a toss-up. I don't know. And the school worries me, Nate. The school's got to worry me. It's like
the Ohio State offense, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
I think,
and let alone Ohio State quarterbacks. What was the last time an Ohio State quarterback made a significant impact in the NFL?
For sure, no,
crazy.
That I agree with. Now that I agree with that, I definitely agree with. Which is a rarity for me with you and Tom and then everybody else. But I agree with that. The Ohio State offense is obviously built for that mobile quarterback. They don't run a pro style type offense, and that does worry me. The toss up between him and Hurts, what we saw in Hurts in Alabama, the Hurts Alabama, I wasn't really impressed. I was impressed when he went to Oklahoma and he shined just as bright at Oklahoma. So that told me his mental is different than other players, and the mental can get you farther than just the physical skill set, right? And I agree with that. But what I saw from Fields in that Clemson game was the fact that he didn't have his legs anymore. So he could stay in the pocket, maybe mobile. He was a little bit mobile, move around enough just to throw people open. And you have to do that when you get into the NFL. It's not just about the small windows, the smaller windows that you have in the NFL. You have to throw people open. And I saw that in that Clemson game, that he has that ability to do that. And, I mean, on my board, if you want to look at the quarterbacks, I mean, he's the second best quarterback, I think, in the draft. For him to fall to 12, like you said, that's a hard choice, man. I personally, if he's there at 12, I think I'm pulling the trigger.
I don't think any quarterback in this draft matters outside of Trevor Lawrence. I'll be completely honest with everybody. I don't care. I don't care enough about any of them.
I respect that.
As like franchise guys, like even the Jets. I mean, the Jets are forced into Kyle Wilson. Zach Wilson.
Zach Wilson.
They're forced into Zach Wilson.
You're spot on, Tommy.
They're forced into it. It's like the same guy. I mean, I feel like they're getting the same guy. They just let go. It's the same fucking guy. I mean,
Exactly.
there's no more of a spitting image. Like if you put them side to side, who's Sam Darnold? Who's Zach Wilson? They look alike. They're the same guy, same haircut, same everything. I mean, my goodness.
The only difference is one of them is Mormon.
Yeah. No, I mean, listen. I think he can play though. He can play, but again,
Frank's timing is great. I love Frank's timing. Let's go come in there. One of them is Mormon. That's deep research there, buddy.
thank you for the donation, JM. We appreciate you. Everybody out there, hit that like button. But no, I just don't. I mean, listen, I'm not another reason I don't care about any quarterback outside of Lawrence is because I don't want a quarterback this year. So, like, unless you want me getting arrested, I suggest we stay far away from it. We got better things to go at.
Okay.
We got better position to go address than the quarterback position. That's my whole thing. Like, I don't care who falls. If Lawrence falls,
I agree.
Then it's like a Sonny Weaver. Like
But what I'm doing is I'm taking what your thought process is, taking the best player available, and if Fields is there, is he the best player available?
No, yeah, you're triggering it. Yep, for sure. If you listen, So no, because I can't. I take no quarterback outside of Trevor Lawrence. Like that guy's got to fall, and he won it because if he does, then nobody came to his birthday party. Right? We're at that. Right? Nobody came to his birthday party. Oh my God, nobody likes Trevor Lawrence. No, I'm not taking him then. You know what I mean? Everybody loves Jalen Hurts. They can't say enough good things about him. So everybody wants to tweet explosive offense. Then here it is. So here it is. Go get another player because you got to look at the way this roster's coming together. I mean, if you get a big time impactful guy at 12 that can play, this roster shouldn't be. We shouldn't be saying, "Oh, this roster's shit." We shouldn't be. Like coming into
it.
Johnny.
Like that. Hey, my guy John, man. Hey, I like that. Way to share support for other shows, but still shout me out, man. Appreciate that, brother. Friday nights, man, got a whole lot better.
Did you
takeover? What'd you say, Tom? The takeover talk.
Oh, takeover talk all day.
Oh yeah, we're taking over this shit, man.
Did you disagree with it?
See, I was a Surtain fan. I'm a big Surtain fan. I want the corner, but when I looked more deep into it, it's the Surtain fit what we do, right? The defensive coordinator, I forget his name off the top of my head, but he is looking, but he's a zone guy. Like he's a zone defensive guy. So the Surtain fit that.
The Slay,
you know what I'm saying? Yeah, Slay fits that, obviously.
Slay's more of a man guy.
Mm-hmm. I feel like he wants to get palsy with you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He wants to get a little.
That's where he excels.
I think Slay can play. I think Slay's good enough to play zone. Will he be as effective as he is man? Like here's a perfect example that we saw actually in Eagles Green. Asante Samuel, terrible zone, great man guy, right? Great man guy.
Yeah.
So, when you think about that, I don't think he's to be as effective, or even the whole Nandi, Asamoah bullshit. Great man guy, terrible zone guy. Yeah. I think Slay is a little bit different than those guys. I think Slay is a good enough player and a smart enough player to understand zone schemes, to play the zone. Will he be great at playing zone? He won't maybe not be the Pro Bowler that we hope, but I think that he can still play zone. And I think the question is, if you take a corner at 12, which I would agree with, can that corner play in your zone type scheme? That's the question that needs to be asked.
He sure as hell better.
Greg, I agree with that, Greg. But I agree with I don't. This is where I disagree with things. I also think if you're just taking players to fit your scheme, then you run into problems. You run into problems. Like I know you're probably going to agree with me. It's literally I don't care if this guy I look at he's the best corner here, and it's Surtain compared to Horner Farley, and I got him ranked number 1, right? And I would take it 6, and he's at 12. I mean, it's a no-brainer. I adjust my scheme to my players. I mean, that's where this is where it becomes nerd talk. Like they gets nerdy. Talk nerdy to me, right? We like wrestling. I got no time for it. I got time for wrestling because I love them guys. But I got no time for the nerd nonsense. It's the best. If Surtain's better than them guys, then you go and reach if you take hypothetically Horn or Farley because they fit you better. Like that's where it's like, wait, why? What? No. You adjust. Don't get Chip Kelly on me. You adjust. You put him in position to be successful. You adjust.
Do you think Horn is a reach or Farley's a reach at 12?
Yes.
I think both have jumped for some reason, way too higher than they should be. I think both are in the 20s. I think both are in the 20s. There's too much good talent and like star caliber. Farley has too many goddamn question marks to me.
And Horn didn't play last year, right? Horn was out. Horn opted out, right? One of them opted out.
Well,
was
Farley was out just because of
Farley,
injury.
yeah.
It was
Farley has
Farley
the back.
was out for
He has the
injury.
back
Okay.
injury.
First-
Yeah,
okay,
Farley's got the
okay.
back injury.
First off, right,
Okay.
Ralphie? You got a back injury. Anybody that's ever had any type of back problems,
Yeah, that's no good. That's a red flag.
so Farley's gone to me. So see ya, right? Horn, I like him, but I don't like him at 12 because I just think there's too much good stuff there.
Yep.
There's gonna be too much. There's too much to choose from at the buffet table. Like, you know what I mean? And I'm like, well, you know what? Horn fits my dish better. No. Surtain always fits your dish.
I'll just go get another dish.
No, I mean, you're right, Tom. I mean, that's why, to me, when you talk about the poll, we talked about our guy, right? And that's Surtain. I'm not going into draft night or draft weekend saying we have to get this position player here, that position player there, because to your point from earlier, we do not know if said player or said position group is going to be there at that spot. So, like, for the sake of argument, like, I'm not going to go into it saying, oh, my God, we have to take a defensive player. But then before we get to 12, we see Micah Parsons go off the board and say, oh, well, we got to take a linebacker, so I'm going to take Jeremiah Owusu-Kamaroa, who's the other linebacker. Or I'm not going to go into it saying we have to get Patrick Surtain and watch him go to Dallas or somewhere else and then say, oh, well, we have to take a cornerback and I'll take Jaycee Horn. Like, I'm not going to handcuff myself there. To your point from earlier, and we've talked about this many times before, we're looking for a star at 12. There's positions that we really don't want to target or maybe wouldn't touch at 12, but it's all about who's going to make the biggest difference, not only day one, but long-term for your team. So is that Devontae Smith? Could be. That's why I would take him there. I think there's a good chance he is there. I don't love Waddle, but if he's there and he's the best player, available and the best option for this team, okay, you take him there. If Surtain's there, great. If somebody else is there, great. So to me, I don't believe anybody should be going into it saying we have to get a defensive player here or in the second round. I agree that we should, but to say, oh, we have to go into it getting one of these two players or at this position group, I think it's kind of like what I joke with Ralphie. It's like we're setting ourselves up to get heartbroken on draft night. Like we're setting ourselves up for failure because we're closing the window to such a small sample. You know what I'm saying? Like the margin for error is so friggin' small. Because to your point from earlier, Tom, like we don't
Shouldn't be, guy, and it shouldn't be. To your point, like it shouldn't be small. Like it should be big. You have like a buffet. You like just get it right.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
There's so many needs for this football team, so many, and there's only a handful of position groups to where we look at it and be like, I'm good on the offensive tackle because it feels like we have 40 of them. I'm good on quarterback because we want to see what obviously Jalen Hurts is. But everywhere else for obviously the realistic options and positions, I'm like, okay, if he's a good player, if he's going to be a difference maker, if he's not a project, all right, roll with it.
No, and if my guys aren't there, right? If for some reason like nobody I like, then I trade out of it and I move back and I acquire more. Like I mean, because you got to just start hitting on something. So the more you can have, I guess the more opportunities you have to hit. And that's how I look at it.
That's exactly it, Tom. And like we've talked about before, I could see them doing that because say they're dead set on Parsons, probably not because he's a linebacker, but say they're dead set on these three guys and all those three, X guys are gone.
Yep.
Then they could trade back to 15 or 16. And then to somebody's point earlier, then I could understand taking Horn there because he's not so much of a reach 16 or 15 or Kwity Paye or a Slater or you know what I'm saying? Like I can understand that. I could deal with it. Because you're moving back 4 spots and you're getting another pick.
And I think that go ahead, Nate. Go ahead.
I was going to say, when does the draft get interesting? What pick?
3.
Yeah, 3, 4.
Yeah, 3 or 4.
4, it's going to get 4 could make it messy. 3, it's going to be interesting just because is he really going to take Mac Jones?
Yeah, and then I think 10 and 11 is when it gets nice for us.
Yeah, 9, 10, 11 will be the other pick to watch.
Yeah,
sorry, Greg, real quick. 9 can kiss my ass, right? It's 10 and 11 that the issue is. Like,
Yeah, I know.
You know, no, I'm just saying in general. Like, I don't care what. I mean, it could affect me who they take, but I'm saying 10 or 11 over the next how many years? You come back and CD Lammy, etc. Come on. That's the only thing I didn't like about the trade. Everything else I love about it because you have to do it. You have.
Yeah, I heard Dallas was trying to trade up. The last rumor I heard Dallas trying to trade up. They're trying to get up there to get Pitts.
Pitts, yep, and then they might score 45 a game.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
They want Pitts.
Sorry,
They'll probably score 45 a game and then have an early first round exit again.
They don't need to play defense, though. They wouldn't need to play defense.
They wouldn't need to play defense with that offense with Pitts. That would be fucking ridiculous.
Go ahead, Greg. What were you saying?
No, I was just going to add on to that 3-4 range, right? What quarterback does San Fran take? And then what does Atlanta really do? Do they take Pitts at 4, or do they trade out depending on what San Fran does, right? Who's left available at that point? So that's where I think it gets interesting for just the whole first round.
Atlanta, grow up. Sorry, right? Atlanta, grow up. Grow up for a minute, okay? What are you trading out of? Go take Sewell and call it a day. You take Sewell. You call it. You end it there. You say, I'm taking Sewell. I'm going to go get a left tackle for 12 years. All right, I'm going to go get the next best thing from a quarterback, which is protecting one. Get a clue, Atlanta. Get a clue. What do you think?
Where's Jake Matthews, though? Is Jake Matthews their left tackle?
Who there's there? Not good enough. I'm going to go look it up. I don't know, but I'll assume he's not at this point.
I don't know. Jake Matthews is all right. He's not bad. He's got a bloodline.
I agree with what you're saying, Tom, but I doubt they do that because all of their linemen are first round talents. Like they all use first round picks on them.
Jake Matthews is there.
Yeah, I think it's Jake Matthews. Is Alex Mack the center? Like they got
Alex Mack,
Hennessy, the Temple kid.
Hennessy, yeah.
All right, who's their guard?
Willie Wright and Chris Lindstrom. Their other tackle was Caleb McGarry.
Who else? Caleb McGarry.
Yeah, like who's those guys? I mean, Matthews is the only guy with the name.
Okay, so Sewell can play anywhere, really. I mean, from watching his class, he can play guard. He can play right tackle. He can play wherever. So to me, I agree with you. I'm saying that's because they're a bad organization now. They wouldn't do that. But if they're smart, they would say, you know what? Everybody wants to go quarterback, all these other things, and Pitts, etc. I'm just going to take Sewell.
I completely agree with you. If I'm Atlanta, I'm thinking to myself, when's the next time realistically unless things go to hell, like when's the next time I'm going to have the 4th overall pick? So I'm using it unless I get a boatload for it.
Probably next year.
I'm confident in saying that pick is going to be the Denver pick when it's all said and done.
I understand how you guys are talking because you guys are like best friends. But no, you take fucking Pitts. You grow some balls and you take fucking Pitts to bring him with Julio. Are you guys serious?
They already have there.
You don't take our lineman there. You take fucking Pitts. You put it with Julio. You put Calvin Megatron, whatever they want to call him, whatever they want to make him up to be. You put him with Julio and you let Matty Ice throw the fucking rock, man. Get the fuck out of here. You don't take a lineman there. No way.
Have you seen Sewell? He's just your typical lineman. He's not your typical.
I get it. I get it. No, I absolutely get it.
Penei Sewell's a game changer to me. I've watched more of him, and he's a fucking problem. He's a problem. Okay, the way NFL offenses are built, Nate, the way they're built now, which is like quick screen games, different things like that, right? Right? He gets out on everything, and he's blowing guys up. His run blocking is phenomenal, and his feet. I don't know if I've seen a lineman's feet move like this and work this well in a minute. This dude's truly a freaking athlete playing left tackle. I'm telling you, he's a problem. And I haven't talked about Sewell that much, right? We haven't. This dude is an issue. Go watch him. Not many linemen you watch are going to stand out to you, right? Go watch his highlights. That's all you need to do. And
he's a unicorn. Okay. He's a unicorn, that guy.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't heard. I haven't heard.
What the hell is Pitt?
I haven't heard a guy sit out this year. Tom talk about so glowingly.
I don't know any of them sitting out. This dude's a problem. What's Pitt's done? Pitt's been in the tent. Pitt's been in the tent. Generationally in the tent all day. Generationally in the tent all day. When a generation will become tent talk? When? Come on.
I think this is the first time you're actually happy with a guy that's out this year.
It is. Write it down. It is.
Yeah.
He's a
We got one, fellas. We got one.
freaking stud. He's a stud. He's a stud. And guess what? The Jets are idiots. The Jets are idiots. You're idiots too. You should have taken him at 2. You're a moron, Joe Douglas. You're a moron. I can't wait for this quarterback to bite you in the ass. I want him to stink so bad. All right.
I want him to stink so bad.
Back to the poll. Frank and Greg gotta go, I believe.
Yeah. You know what? Let me switch into my draft cat mode real quick so I can answer the poll. Well,
oh god,
this poll was actually a tough one as well, as Ralph said. You know, this is a tough poll for me to answer.
Why are you
so you know, it all depends on where the rest of this draft is going.
yeah, I'll tell you, I love Frank. Frank's the national treasure, man. I love Frank.
I guess. But it all depends on where this draft is going. You know, when we traded back from 6 to 12, I was shocked as everybody else. It's like, why would you make a move like this? You know, the opportunity to get a guy like Jamar Chase, Devontae Smith, Kyle Pitts, maybe Micah Parsons, you know, the opportunity to get those huge playmakers might be gone by the time we get to 12. But looking at the mocks, I think we go offense on this one. So I disagree to the poll. I think there's still more issues on offense than our defense. I know we made some big signings. You know, Eric Wilson, great signing by the team. I know we made acquisitions with Anthony Harris. You know, that's another outstanding signing right there. But I still think offense needs issues. You need to find guys to replace Deshaun Jackson and Alshon Jeffrey. What about if we trade Zach Ertz? Do we need to find a playmaker to replace Zach Ertz? Is Dallas Goedert ready to be the TE1? Who's going to be in Dallas's footsteps? So there's still some question marks on the offense. I like
Dick Rod.
I like the idea. Oh yeah, and Rich Rod. Yeah. Dick Rod. But
sorry, maybe that was a name from earlier. I just come back in my head.
Yeah.
Julio, it's coming. Don't you worry.
But you know, I'll be glad if we don't reach on 12. Let's just hope how he hits it right. You know, you make this huge trade back, you have to hit the pick at 12. So I'm gonna hope that we're gonna go offense at 12. But if we reach or draft somebody that we really don't need, then happy 2021.
Yeah, I don't. The only thing I'll say to you is you talk about wide receivers replacing them. Like, them guys should be on this roster already, Frank.
They should be.
And I know I'm not saying you're saying that. I'm looking right at the general manager. I mean, Jalen Reagor's the first round pick that you selected. JJ
Exactly.
the second round pick you selected. John Hightower you used selection on. Quez Watkins was the only guy who could make a play after the catch last year in one possession.
Right.
Like, I mean, run them all out there. Travis Fulgham.
We could definitely run them all out there. And, you know, we want to see what Nick Sirianni's offense is going when he's talking about, let's get rid of those banana routes that he doesn't like. So, you know, if we're going to see less of the banana routes, I mean, maybe we really don't need a lot more wide receiver help. But
maybe we can get it. Yeah, maybe.
Frank, you're no longer a national treasure when you just said that statement. Of course, we need fucking receiver staff. Are you serious? Are you serious? Our wide receivers are all wide receiver 3. They suck.
Yeah, they're all. It's a terrible group, and I admit it's terrible. A terrible group.
Everybody was on that. What's that? What was the dude's name? They thought they started comparing his stats to Megatrons. Was it Fulgham?
Travis Fulgham.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I couldn't stand the Eagles fans that are so emotionally attached. And I
stop
love
right there.
guys.
I can't stand Eagles fans. You can just stop that statement right there.
I just can't. But I can't stand that subset of groups that are just so attached and they don't think with their minds to really think. Like yeah, right. Like he's over. Like what? Are you serious? Like no, he's not. He's not a wide receiver 1.
Yeah.
He's so bad at the second half.
Oh no,
if he's a wide receiver 1, we should make T-shirts about him.
Well, you know, no, Nate. He is a wide receiver 1 on the 32nd ranked team in the National Football League. Okay, that's what
the 33rd ranked team. You know what I mean?
33rd.
Like he's not even on the goddamn like it was just ridiculous how everybody fell in love with Travis after Now he had a good run. He had a good subset of what, 3 to 4 games,
Yeah.
and then he just fucking disappeared after that.
Yeah, but who are you
He's
drafting wide
dormant.
receiver wise in the first round if it's not Chase or Smith? So like if it's not one of them guys,
Nobody.
There's
So,
nobody.
listen, I'll stamp it right here. I already said it a million times. If Devontae Smith's there, it's a no-brainer to me.
No brainer, Tom.
He's walking into a gold jacket. You can put the gold jacket on now, Nate. Put the gold jacket on now. Devontae Smith will walk into a gold jacket. You could gold jacket wrap it for him. But wrap
Yeah,
it.
I like Smith. He reminds me of what's that dude's name? What's the real smooth route runner out in San Diego? Damn, what I can't remember.
Keenan Allen.
Keenan Allen?
Yeah, Allen. He reminds me of Allen. You know what I mean? He's deceptively fast. He knows how to get open. He knows how to get route. He knows how to run routes. And I think he reminds me a little bit about him. Now I don't know if he's at that level because I forget his name. What's his name, fellas?
Keenan Allen.
Keenan Allen. I think he's underrated as a receiver where he has in those stance. But what he brings to the table, 7, 8 catches, and he can explode for 150 yards and a touch. You know what I'm saying? Marky Mark.
I was just going to ask that. What would be your reaction if they took Waddle at 12?
I'm fucking fighting somebody. You understand? If they take Jalen Waddle over the guy next to him who's better, what are we doing? Mark, I love you. I love you. You guys can all waddle me up. Waddle, swaddle, do whatever you want. And I say swaddle because we swaddle guys every night. So I know all about the swaddle. So you can waddle or swaddle or whatever the hell you want to do to me right now. If they freaking waddle me over Devontae Smith, I'll catch another charge. It'll be another charge.
What if Smith isn't there?
No, then that's a different story. But
I'll take Waddle if Smith's not
I'll
there.
take Waddle if he's there.
I'll take Waddle, but not over
Waddle
Smith.
as well. Yeah.
Let's not forget Waddle was considered the best receiver on that team.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, he wasn't. By what? Jabron experts? I mean, listen, Devontae Smith has caught big catches there since the second he walked in the door.
I'm not saying he did, but I'm just saying by talent, by just pure talent, Waddle was considered the better talent.
Yeah.
Devontae Smith in national championship game walked on the field with 4 touchdowns already, and the clock didn't even move from 15 minutes.
Exactly.
Come on,
I'm not disagreeing with y'all.
Don't disagree
If
about any of that.
Smith or Waddle, I'm taking Smith.
So in the scenario where Surtain and Smith are both gone, and let's say the best receiver on the board is Waddle and the best cornerback on the board is Horn. Which one are you taking? Horn or Waddle?
Waddle.
Okay. I agree.
Right, but if that scenario where Smith and Waddle are still on the board and we go Waddle, I'll punch myself in the face.
And they would do that too. I'm fully anticipating they do that.
Oh, I can see Surtain.
We'll probably get trolled on the draft where we have a very happy Devontae Smith, talking on the phone, and then when
like last year,
then it's going to be Jalen Waddle.
Yeah, like last year, right? We all thought it was Justin Jefferson. He was talking on the phone, and then bam,
we're all going to get bamboozled again.
If they take Waddle over Surtain, I'll fight somebody.
Oh my God!
Then
Howie and everybody in that front office should be fired on the spot.
I think for the sake of our sanity, I have a very good feeling that he's not going to. I mean, you never know. I mean, it's a month away from the draft, but I think the Lions are probably going to take Waddle. I could really see in that because they want a burner and they want like a Tyreek Hill thing. So for our sanity, or at least the people on the show right now, because I know a lot of the chat likes Waddle. I don't think Waddle is going to even be in the conversation when it's our time to draft, thankfully. So that's one less mistake that we can make.
That would be a Lions type of move right there.
Yeah, like they want a deep
What's that, 7?
Yes, 7.
Yes.
Yeah, I've seen a couple mocks where Waddle was taken at 7. I've seen the Sims, that they might take Waddle at 7.
Now he's Tyreek Hill. You know what I mean? I read that today. I mean, what's Najee Harris going to say?
Yeah, I read that today too. I'm sitting there reading the article and I'm just thinking in my head like, are we really seriously comparing Tyreek Hill? Like, come on, man.
Isn't that what everyone said Jalen Reagor was? Oh wait, no, I'm sorry. That was Steve Smith and Jalen Reagor and Tyreek Hill.
You know when you become a comp, when you come in, you dominate. Then you can comp me up all day. They say this guy looks like somebody. Okay, cool. Until you come in and dominate, you ain't nobody. You're just a dude. You're another guy. You're another prospect. All right? I fucking hate comparisons. All right? I hate them. So then I'll go pedigree comparison. Surtain, pedigree. Horn, pedigree. I like Horn. Just not at 12. But, I do like Jaycee Horn because of daddy. You know what I mean? I'll never, so I like
one of the best end zone sellies in the game.
Literally.
Greg, your guy's here. Your guy's here, Greg.
Oh, God.
Go ahead, Greg. This poll before we start going off. Oh, yeah. Hit that subscribe. Everybody on YouTube. What are you doing? 114 people watching? And what are you guys doing? I love that you're watching. We all do, but pound the like. Let's go. Get us up over 100. Pound that subscribe button. All right. Tons of shows here. You want to win some money?
Yeah, that's easy.
You check
that's
out
easy.
What? You winning money or hitting the like?
No, I want to win money.
No, hitting that motherfucking like button. Winning money's easy.
Well,
but hitting that like button's even easier. For sure.
I was trying to give you a plug. I was plugging you.
I know, right? I cut you off. I look at my cup and it's empty. It's an empty cup. I need more. But then I'm fumbling. We not vibing right. So I think I might leave that alone. I might need to get some water.
Go ahead, Greg.
Yeah, I don't know what the rest of the guys said, so I don't know if I'm joining the group, but I'm going to disagree. I just don't think we could pigeonhole ourselves going into one particular pick. Would I be mad and if defense is on the board, is that a bad pick? No. We have a whole lot of holes on defense. But I also don't want to sit there and, for example, Smith drop or God forbid Chase drop or Pitts drop, right? Oh, we got to go defense. No, I might be taking one of those guys first. So, no, I would disagree to the poll.
Let's see. Creep Johnson saying Waddle or Surtain, Eagles first. I mean, what's the chances? I'll ask everybody here in the fam. What do you think the chances are percentage-wise that Patrick Surtain is there at 12?
10%.
That's low.
10%.
Jeez.
Yeah, I'm on the low end. I'll go 25.
Because does he get past Dallas? That's the big question.
Yeah.
That's the question, Ralph. You're right.
I could see Dallas either going with one of the tackles, the offensive tackles. I could see them going Slater if he's there or Sewell because they do need offensive line help. They really do. And because Jaycee Horn is this meteor in the draft, he's the fast riser. Maybe I pray that he takes them or that they take him, I should say. You know what I'm saying? But then, does Surtain, I know the Broncos took somebody, they signed another cornerback, but does he get past Denver? Does he get past the Falcons if the Falcons go back to 9? So, does he get past the Giants? So I don't know. I'll go like 25% that he's there.
That makes sense. I think it's around there. It's around about 20% that he's there. I mean, you got some landmines to get through. Like you said, Denver. Like the last one, I'm looking at the mock now. The last mock that on ESPN that Todd Mache put up, he actually has Surtain going to the Panthers at 8.
Ooh.
Especially now that they got their quarterback. Yeah.
Their offensive line's not great, so I'm hoping they just go with one of the tackles. You know what I mean? But who knows? I mean, that kind of screws with us a little bit now that's an extra team that's not going to be in the market for a quarterback.
Right.
As far as, in our hopes for guys falling.
Yeah, I just checked Tankathon, and they have us taking Waddle at 12. However,
who's off the board? Who's on the board?
Everyone's off the board.
Okay.
Smith is at 7. Surtain's at 8 to Carolina. Horn's to Dallas at 10. Parsons is the Giants at 11. So the only one on the board, the only people on the board worth anything is Slater, Caleb Farley, and Mac Jones.
And I'm also looking at a mock draft from Walter Football. They have us also taking Jalen Waddle. Surtain goes to Dallas. Jaycee Horn gets taken at 8 by Carolina.
So they just swapped them.
They kind of swapped him. And then
Sewell
goes to 5, Pitts 4, yeah.
So I'll ask you guys the same thing. What do you think the chances are percentage-wise that Devontae Smith is there at 12?
I think that's more like 10%. That might even be lower than that. Like it's going to be tough for him. It's going to be tough for Smith to get past. So with Chase being, I guess, quote on the number 1 receiver in the draft,
yeah,
it's going to be hard for him to get past. I was just looking at it. Who was at?
Real quick, who's at
No,
7
Chase
again?
is going to go to 5 in the Bengals. I think if they take a receiver, they're going to take Chase.
Yeah.
And who's at 7 again?
The Lions.
Detroit.
The Lions.
So I mean, and listen, the Lions have no wide receivers right now on their roster. None.
Right.
Yeah, but I don't think Chase makes it past 6. If the Bengals don't take Chase, the Dolphins are, and I think that's why the Dolphins moved back up to 6. Was they wanted?
Go ahead. Frank,
no, I just said they were going to build around Chase if he's there.
Yeah, and then not even that. Burrow has been quote unquote, the guy. He's the guy going back for Chase, telling the brass that hey, we need to take Chase.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. So you got the Dolphins. Smith's got to get through. You got the Lions. He's got to get through. Don't rule out Dallas if he drops that far.
Oh.
No. You know what I mean? Would we be brutal with that? And don't rule out, the Giants.
I don't want to. I don't want to say the Bengals would be dumb in taking Chase or because Chase is going to probably be a very good player. But would they make the mistake of not going with protection for the quarterback that just got hurt?
Right.
Like, would they really go skill position over because they still have good wide receivers there? You know what I'm saying? It's not like a black hole like the Lions.
What happens if?
But it kind of really is.
Sorry, I'm coming in late. But who's before them?
Who? The Bengals?
Yeah.
It's San Fran and then the Falcons.
Okay, so it's depending on what the Falcons do. Because if the Falcons take Sewell, like we were talking about, then they're back. Then they got to take Chase. You know what I mean?
Or Pitts.
Or Pitts. If the Falcon, if Sewell's there, and Pitts is there, I don't know. I mean, Sewell and Chase, I don't know. That's tough.
See, I could see them making. Again, maybe not a mistake, but I could see them going with the safe option with Slater. Because he's like the safe guy. You remember when the Giants took who was it, Andrew Thomas, 3rd or 4th, and everyone was like, okay, that's the safe guy. That's what Slater is. He doesn't have the unicorn aspects. He's not, you know what I'm saying, that Sewell does, but he's like, oh, this guy can play a lot of different positions.
Yeah, no, I mean, I get that. I think Sewell can do the same thing for him. But regardless on who it is, I mean, I think that's going to dictate who they go, though.
Mm-hmm.
Depending on if they have Sewell hired in Slater, and then they have Chase hired in, Slater, then you sort of know where they go, right?
Tom, I'll ask you the same thing I asked those guys. What's the percentage chance that Devontae is there at 12? Devontae Smith, in your opinion?
I'm praying the size. People, they get cute. These guys are all in these stupid analytics. Marvin Harrison was small, right? Freaking Chad Johnson was small. He'll put on weight. I'm not worried about that. Tyreek Hill's small, essentially. So it's about how you take hits. He seemed to do fine with that in the SEC. Mm-hmm. So I'm not at least bit concerned, but I know people will be because they're nerds. And let the nerds miss. So I'll say percent out of what, like 100, right? Or would you say 10? Or what was it? Out of 100?
Out of 100, yeah.
I said 10. 10%.
I'll say 75.
Okay.
I think there's 75% chance that he's sitting there because.
Yep. No, go ahead, Tom.
No, that's all I had.
Yeah, no, I was going to bring up. I know I bust your balls about it all the time, and the players that sat out this year, right? Like that's a huge factor, and I don't know if GMs how they're handling that, right? Like, how do you handle those guys that sat out a year, right? Do you necessarily hold it against them? Do you go off of what you have? Obviously, the athleticism's still there, right? But you look at a guy like Chase, for example, right? Sat out because maybe he sat out because he knows that his team was going to stink, right? And he didn't want to hurt his draft stock while also potentially getting hurt himself. Guy like Sewell too, right? Sat out. Now, was that the right decision? That's for them to. That's obviously their decision. But what are these GMs truly? How are they gauging that? That's the unknown that we don't know going into this year.
And I think where you play, that's a factor of not playing for a year. I mean, you can get your body in all the great shape you want to. Not playing is a different story. Now, I think the special ones, it doesn't matter too, right, Greg? I think if you're special, you're special. It's not going to matter. But a little bit. I mean, a little bit. I think it matters. How do they take it? I don't know. They're nerds.
Yeah,
they're nerds. Great question.
I will throw this out there too that
That's
Tom,
my nickname, brother.
That's Creep
what
John.
Creep Johnson.
Uber creep. Uber creep.
I know Tom and I talked about it a couple Mondays ago that, like, while we talk about guys that we don't necessarily think are going to get to 12, remember where we were a year ago when we were talking about, like, oh, there was probably a very small chance, not only us, the experts were saying this, all the mock draft people, that, oh, Judy's not getting past 11 or 12. CeeDee Lamb's not getting past 15. And they both dropped. You know what I'm saying? CeeDee Lamb was the third guy taken off the board. So you never know. One of these guys could drop. It only takes a handful of teams, or to your point from earlier, Tom, it only takes a couple teams to reach on the wrong guy or a trade to go up. You know what I mean? Like, say a couple teams from behind us trade up for quarterbacks. Well, that's going to make the position players fall as well.
You go watch. Yeah, you're 100% right. But you go watch Philly 52. You go watch him, and you talk to me about his short arms. You talk to me how that dictate his play. I mean, that's fine. But this is where nerds get in and they say short arms, and the guy becomes one of the best left tackles in football. Like, you know what I mean? Because they overthink it. Short arms. Can you play? Can he play? Can you play? Shorts and a tee, your measurements mean shit. Can you freaking play? Because all your measurements are all pretty similar. So can you play? Well, dictate the Sunday. It don't make it matter what you look like. You know what I mean? You look like Tarzan, hit like Jane. It don't matter. This dude hits like Tarzan. Go watch him. I'm not Mr. Sewell. Don't tell me about short arms. Oh, this is where everybody sounds like Howie.
A little too much watching tape, I think, if we start talking about short arms. You know what I mean? It's like,
no, you're doing the opposite, right? You're
not
just
watching enough. Not watching enough.
Not watching the guy enough. You're just worried about, like, oh my God, see that measurements?
Well, I was saying more in the lines of, like, you know how for the last 2 years it's probably 3 years. Oh, Trevor Lawrence is the best, but now all these analysts are saying, oh well, maybe Zach Wilson's better. Oh, I don't like this one thing. You know what I'm saying? It's like we got a nitpick now. Listen, the guy.
Trevor Lawrence, these past 3 drafts, Trevor Lawrence would have been the number 1 pick in all 3 of them.
Yep.
If football and the NCAA college football is the same way as basketball, where you could leave your freshman year, after his freshman year, Trevor Lawrence would have been the first pick in the draft easily, and his sophomore year, and obviously this year.
Probably would have been picked first coming out of high school.
Probably, yeah.
Now,
right?
Do you guys?
What up, big play? We're
What's
looking
up,
for some big plays again this year.
Yeah, we're gonna need them.
Well, again?
I was trying to be nice to him.
Oh, I hear you.
You made a couple.
A couple.
I mean, I'd love to have him. I mean, I need the guy that was in Detroit making plays. So yeah. I hope this scheme fits him better.
How much do you guys buy into all the speculation that Howie would move back up to 8? So he banks that extra first round pick, and I believe you would only have to give up like a couple thirds, or maybe like everyone's saying, oh, throw Zach Ertz in the deal to get back up to 8. What was that, Greg?
What's the target?
Who do you want at 8? Who do you want? There's a better chance you're getting them at 8 than 12.
I think that's a move. If I'm looking at it, that's a move you do if your guy's Pitts or your guy's Smith and he got through Detroit, right? And you don't want him to get, or whoever they don't want to get to Dallas and New York, whoever that is on their board.
Surtain? Yeah. Would you do it for? Would you guys do that for Surtain?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that's a Surtain move.
I don't even blink an eye. And I'll do it for Devontae Smith too. I won't even blink an eye. Done.
We just got to hope that one of these teams in the top 10 get cute and select somebody that's like, below 20.
Like the 49ers are about to?
Yeah.
I was going to say, you might see it.
Well,
you might see it at number 3.
Yeah.
They may still take Fields, but it looks like a Mac Jones
related.
I know San Francisco's supposed to go to his pro day, so.
That don't mean shit. They didn't go to the first one. They're going to try to cover up and say, we're going to the second one. Get the fuck out of here.
None of it matters. They watch enough on these guys that it doesn't matter. They know what they know, or they think they know.
They know how many times they shake it after they go to the bathroom and whether they wash their hands. They don't need a pro day to tell them anything.
But right, I mean, I would for the right guy. You know what I mean? It's all about the right guy. Listen,
Right.
people listen.
Hold on, Tom. Which one? Shake or wash your hands for that? Wasn't sure. I didn't know. I saw Frank's gesture. Like, what the hell are we talking about?
Yeah, it was a very weird analogy. I'm like, whoa, okay. Like, and I already listened to Lenny Dykstra's interview. I'm like, whoa, what are we talking about now?
Yeah, shout out to Tom, man, with that Lenny Dykstra's interview before, man. Make sure y'all go check that out.
Shout out.
I don't know what the show was called. What was the show called?
A to the After Dark.
After Dark. Make sure y'all go check that out, man. Him and Lenny getting at it.
It was
Baseball talk.
It was After Dark. 138 people watch on YouTube. Have that like. Let's go. Hit that subscribe if you haven't. But yeah, I think all for the right guy. You know, you have to. You would have to. But will that, like you said, jump? Is he even jump? He just went back. He went the other way. He went the other way to 12. Now he took an offer you can't refuse. But he put himself behind them teams. Now, like, is he going to have enough dog in him to say, you know what, watch this now, boom, and get up there? Now he could redeem himself, but guess what? The only way he redeems if he goes up and gets a star.
Yeah, he's still got a hit.
Yeah, it's got to be a star.
I could see him if he watches the movie Draft Day that morning. I could see him doing the Sonny Weaver. You know what I'm saying? Moving back, getting the first, going back and getting the guy we wanted all along.
Well, Michael Parsons is
Jamar Chase.
Well, Michael Parsons has been talking like he's Mr. Mac. So I mean,
I'm in.
I'm all in the way Michael Parsons talks.
I'm in. It's a linebacker. Sign me up, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, the Eagles are not taking a linebacker in the first round. You guys are out of your mind.
Because they don't.
You know what I'm saying?
Nate,
Yeah,
you let us dream, though, Nate. Nate,
Never
will you let
taking a
us
linebacker
dream?
in, like,
Nate,
Will
at
you
some
let us
point,
dream,
it has
brother?
to be broken, dude.
You know why
It
they
has to
have
be
it?
broken.
You know why they
I'm sorry. I'm sorry to be the honest one of the group. But it ain't happening, man. It ain't happening. You're out of your mind.
You know why, Nate? They won't. It's one simple reason. It's Jeffrey Lurie, and he wants offense.
Yeah, man. They're not. There's no way. I'm trying to think of it. I think we had this conversation a little bit ago, and I think the highest linebacker they've taken in the last like 20 years. I want is either Stuart Bradley or Carlos Emmons. One of the two. Not sure. I think Carlos Emmons was a second round or maybe a high third round pick. I know Bradley was a third round pick for sure. But I think
Bradley
Emmons had him beat. Yeah. You know what I mean? And they've gotten by with other linebackers. No, actually, you know what? Who was the guy? Brother plays for Minnesota. He was on UCLA.
Michael Kendricks.
Kendrick was a second round pick. I'm sorry. Kendrick was definitely a second round pick. So he was the highest linebacker we've taken.
We could bring him back before he goes to jail.
Nigel Bradham, anybody?
God.
No, but I mean,
he was serviceable though. He was serviceable. He was always in the right spot.
Nigel was great here. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Nigel was great in 2017, 2018. You know, Nigel was great. So, I mean, it shows what kind of defense you can have when you actually address it. Now, you know, I like the move that they went out and got Wilson. I like that, but you know, it's an upgrade to what you have, which makes me think another reason they might not take one. But none of that matters. I mean, listen, they've shocked you before, and the guy is in their backyard essentially.
Yeah.
So we'll see. They didn't do it last year when they had the opportunity to go Queen or Mary. So I don't think they would do it this year. But maybe they learn from their mistakes. Would they go corner? I mean, when's the last time they went corner in the first? You know what I mean? Like, you know, I don't even know the last time they went corner in the first round.
Corner in the first round.
So second round, Nate, you are correct. Michael Kendricks, 46th. Also, other second rounders: Matt McCoy, Quentin Carver, Barry Gardner, James Darling, and then a bunch of other guys. Third round picks: Stuart Bradley, Jordan Hicks, Jeremiah Trotter.
Yeah.
All good players. I wasn't a Hicks fan.
Last year we took a guy that was supposed to go in the 6th round with the third round pick.
Well, I think the last time we went
was it? Yeah, I mean, Red Sand, was it Lido?
It was Lido in
that was the last time we went corner in the first round.
Lido.
I would take
3 picks in that draft were all corners.
Lito, Sheldon,
Lewis,
and Michael Lewis.
and Sheldon. Yeah.
Oh,
Can we do
my
that again,
goodness.
please?
I would
Can
do
we that
it
again.
again. I would do it again, right? I would do it again, at least in the first 2 rounds. I would go Surtain and Asante Samuel Jr. Call it a night.
Yeah, one for the outside, one for the nickel. Yeah.
Yeah, I would love. I would
That'd
call
be
it. I would like that move. They
Right,
can
we
eat
talk
it in
about
this
fight fire
division.
with water, baby. Fight some fire with some water. Don't try to
Because
fight with fire. Fight with water.
That's the talk on Asante Samuel Jr. is that he's going to be more of an inside guy, but that's fine because I'm not sold on Avonte Maddox. You know what I'm saying? Like that job's not that job isn't given to anybody.
Monte Maddox.
Who?
You know what I mean? Monte Maddox.
Well, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I know there's a hive out there. There's a small hive.
Oh, they're around. I mean, play 16 games before I can even talk to you about, being a legit corner in this league.
Fair.
David, there's a ton of comments, so if we missed them, write them again. Yeah, Maddox is trash.
Yes, he is.
I like that. Yeah, Maddox is trash.
We could always have Roby Coleman back again.
Marky, the problem is that your water that's harder than water has been misses. The Miss City. We talk about wide receivers and et cetera on this offense. Miles Sanders is a close thing to a hit, and he ain't no hit. And when Sirianni talk about banana route to put your foot in the ground, he should have been talking about his running back putting his damn foot in the ground. That should have been the first thing. You know what I mean? Fuck the banana routes. We'll get to them. We'll cancel culture them banana routes. But right now we gotta put a foot in the ground, Miles, and start there, Mr. Softy, Mr. Instagram Softy. I see you. I'm wearing binoculars with all you Thundercats on Instagram and Twitter. You and Mr. Regger. We see yous. Now come out, put 1,000 yards up. All right. And the other one, I need you to rush for 1,200. And I have about a 5-piece out of the backfield, Mr. MVP. All right. I need you to have that. And the other guy who first round pick, I'm going to need you to go for 1,000 and let's say 7-8 touchdowns for you even justify being taken where you were taken.
Sportsman Philly, Karamoa and Asante Samuel Jr. play 2 separate positions, sir.
Yeah.
So one's a linebacker and one's a corner.
We hit. We didn't hit. We did not center hit yet.
Yeah,
Are you kidding me?
only
I like Miles, but stop with this nonsense. You can't come out and talk the way he talked and put up a year like you did. You better pump your brakes, and then you're going to do it again. You're going to do it again.
He's got to stay healthy to be a hit first.
Yeah, I actually
Hold on
agree.
to football.
I actually agree with you, Tom. I'm not. Miles hasn't showed me anything yet. You know what I mean? He showed me flashes. That's it.
Yeah, I mean,
I can't deal with that.
he's shown the ability that he at any given time he can take one to the house. Absolutely. But he hasn't shown the ability that he's an every down running back yet.
No, sir.
Now, was that because of the way he was used? Who knows, right? But that's still the fact of the matter is it's still a question out there.
Well, I know something. You probably think he was used poorly because of Doug. I'm going to tell you he was used the way he was. No, real quick, because of Deuce Staley. Deuce Staley was up in his ass every time he came. I mean, we all watched it.
I know Deuce runs that.
Yeah, Deuce was getting tired of that act. Put your foot in the ground.
And there was no prejudgment in that used incorrectly. It was just the reality of the situation, right?
Yeah, no, I know you though. I just know you, Doug.
Yeah, I hate Doug.
All right.
How's Doug doing?
What does that have to do with? What does that have to do with you putting your foot in the ground? What does that do with you dropping passes? What's the offensive line guy do with him dropping passes? What's the offensive line guy do with him calling himself an MVP candidate?
They're fumbling at the 3-yard line, going in for a touchdown.
Hey, this guy right here. You talking about this guy right here? Hey, calm his ass down. Somebody put water on that. Calm down up there.
Fight the fire with some water then. I would love Najee Harris, Andre.
I was going to say, all this Miles Sanders love in the comments, people are going to be upset when a lot of us say, hey, we might want to draft his running mate in the 2nd or 3rd.
See, I got to stop.
He won't be there. He won't be there.
No, not Najee.
I don't think Najee's going to be there.
No, I'm not talking about Najee.
I'm going to stop everybody again. Let me tell you something. People don't understand this. You can be critical of a guy and still like him. I still like Miles. He's explosive. But I'm allowed to be critical of what hurt it last year. Right? I mean, we ran a quarterback out for not producing. He was right with him. They were holding each other's hand not producing. And the only year he had a good year, which was his rookie year, was because Jordan Howard and the 1-2 punch helped him. And then he was fresh the second half of the year, and he was explosive. Okay?
Yep.
He didn't have that last year. It was him and a bunch of show ponies, the little baby ponies. Him and a bunch of little baby ponies around him. And a bunch of baby freaking ponies who couldn't run the – Boston Scott, first of all, puts his foot in the ground more than he does, which is a problem. All right? But there's no change of pace last year.
Is that the giant killer, Boston Scott?
Yeah, I like Boston. It's my third. I think he's effective as your third. Though Jordan Howard's back. Is he a camp body? We'll find out. But, that change of pace is back. So we'll see.
Yeah.
And if you think about the history of the running backs, I just had to look this up just to see. We've been kind of fortunate, right? I'm going to go back here. We had Herschel for 2 years. Then after Herschel came Ricky Waters. Mm-hmm. We had Ricky for 2 years. And then we had Deuce for what?
Ever.
Yeah. Ever, right? And then in that Deuce year, we got, Westbrook in there. Yep. Buckhalter was mixed in there. And then we had Shady. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? That's almost, 10 to 15 years of good running back play.
We've been
Miles has got to step up and be in that same category because he's not. We've been very, very blessed to have the running backs that we've had.
Is Miles Sanders a star if he can only withstand 15 to 17 touches a game?
And don't forget Sproles. Don't forget Hall of Fame Sproles in there, Mighty Mouse. You got to, you still got to put him in there too.
I think Miles Sanders right now, he can break out of it. Like people are misconstruing it again. We're not putting a ceiling on Miles Sanders saying he's a rotational guy, but right now, the best Miles Sanders is when he's in a rotation. He can eventually come out of that, but I don't think anyone should argue that the best Miles Sanders we saw is when he was running alongside of Jordan Howard.
Be a superstar.
But I think it's where a lot of people thrive in today's running back culture.
Yeah, I don't like bell cow. I don't like bell cow situations. Listen, we won a Super Bowl with a running back rotation. That's what we won a Super Bowl with.
To answer your question, is he a superstar? Right now, no.
No. He's
right
not,
now,
he's not a superstar, no.
But but that doesn't mean he's not good. And I don't think and you're not saying that he's not good. It's just the situation around Miles right now is better when there's another guy to take a load off of him. And Miles can come in and be fresh and be quick and put his foot in the ground and go up when he does it.
The Black Line said, do you guys get too upset over players having random conversations on social media? No, I don't. I know you're laughing, but I don't. I get upset when guys want to talk to me about MVP conversations and then struggle bus it, right? Then I'm allowed to say, I don't like that, right? And then you're going to do it again, essentially, and talk about how explosive this offense is going to be and all these things. Fine. I love confidence. Wow, baby. If you don't put your money where your mouth is this year, then you better just deactivate Twitter. All right, that's my issue. I don't give a shit. Talk all you want. Joel Embiid's my favorite player ever because you know why? He has no filter on Twitter. I love it. But guess what he does? He's dropping 35 a night and do whatever the frick he wants to do on Twitter. That's how it works, right? When you produce, you say whatever you want. When you don't produce, I would hush.
And speaking about Embiid, I think I gave this 2 weeks ago. I said, get on the prop bet MVP. MVP, he's going to take that right back. Watch.
You did right here on the show.
What do you mean call me? What does he call me? What's he got to call me for? For me to be critical? He called me tomorrow. He'd come on and talk to me about it. He's more than welcome. He's the one blocks on IG because he doesn't like a rant or two, right? So I see the softies. We just interviewed a guy who's the definition of the opposite of that, right? Who understood the city of Philadelphia, who talked about that if you don't play well, you get smoked around here. And there's only certain guys who can deal with it, right? That's what he said. Coming from a guy who has success here. Only certain guys can deal with it. All right, that's what Lenny Dykstra just talked about. Okay? So only certain guys can deal. We all know this. Well, when you're blocking people on IG because you're somebody's critical of you not putting your foot in the ground, or somebody's critical of A, B, C, D on the football field, on the football field. I'm not critical of your personal life ever. On the football field. That's all I care about. Whatever else you do, it doesn't matter to me. On the football field. So what does he got to call me for? He's the one blocking people. Jalen Rager, another one. He calls out the fan base. I rip him for calling out the fan base. Guess what he does? Oh, block A2D. So guess what, Mr. Softies? You don't want to be on social media and puff your chest out, then handle the heat when it comes. And if you can't handle the heat, you ain't that guy then. You ain't the alpha dog in the room. Simple. And that goes for the old quarterback here too. Because he's Mr. Softy as well. And that truth came out. I see you, Sunshine, too. So don't think he in my radar as well. Listen, I got an equal opportunity crush. Equal opportunity crush for Tom Arnone. I don't give a shit. He's my favorite player. If Joel Embiid wants to come out and be lackluster, he'll hear from me.
What about Ben Simmons? What about Benny?
Benny's soft too. And first off, I'm calling him soft because he won't put his foot in the ground. I'm calling him soft because he's a running back who won't stick the foot in the ground. You all can just praise. That's my man. 80-yard run. And then freaking 2-yard loss, 3-yard loss because you want to kick everything. Shit. Deuce Staley didn't like it. But I cannot like it. We talking about on the field. On the field. I'm a critic. Give a shit what you tweet. But if you tweet something stupid and then don't back it up, I'm going to give a shit what you tweet. It's my job. Crumb in the day. You understand? It's crumb in the day. So you want to do something that puts you in the crosshairs of an alpha dog that has no problem coming at you, then just have fun back and forth. We've ripped other people that came in the inbox, right? That were men about it. Some not so much. But a lot that were men. Blake Snell, one of them. Huh. His balls hanging. His balls were hanging in Game 7. You kidding me? You kidding me? That's big ball Blake. So you understand what I'm saying? Like some guys are going to come in and say, yo, let's talk about this, right? Well, how's their success on the field?
Still can't believe it took him out. Jesus.
Yeah, I know.
Still blows my mind.
I know. That's why he left too. That's another reason. Like,
it absolutely is why he left.
You know, you guys.
He was like, agent, let's get this trade done. Stat.
Damn. You can't be critical anymore in this city. Like it's love affair or bust. You know what I mean? Like literally, it's love affair or you're a hater.
Yeah, it really is.
They think the city I grew up in. The city I grew up in, man, you smoke dudes. You smoke dudes. All right, dudes got smoked. Got rolled up and smoked right on air. Dudes got. Okay?
Facts.
Come on. Have a little toughness. This ain't the SEC either. Like, if you're playing at Bama, you're going to get it when you come here, right? Like, you're going to understand it. You're playing at big time schools. You're playing at TCU. Are you kidding me? It's Pat on the Ass City. It's Pat on the Ass City. It's great job. Everybody, it's college. It's college life. Freaking, it's the East Coast big time sports. And I'm not the guy saying you get paid a lot of money, but you get paid a lot of money to play sports, which means you get paid a lot of money because people watch you play sports. You get paid a lot of money because people talk about you playing sports, which then comes what? Praise, criticism, and doggies on the bed. Right, Ralphie? Doggies on the bed. Doggies on the bed.
She's finding a new spot to get comfortable.
Could use Sorry, guys. Sorry for the rant. I hate not being allowed to be critical and be honest. I hate it. I hate that people got a baby. Got a baby. Oh, it's okay. It's okay. Give him the bottle. I baby my son. I ain't baby nobody else. And when he hits an age, guess what? Accountability with him too. Be accountable. Be accountable for the stupid shit you say. Be accountable for not putting your damn foot in the ground. Be accountable for dropping big balls. If you're Jalen Rager, be accountable for not showing up.
And fumbling the ball on the 3-yard line.
Yeah. Come on.
Give my guy Rager a break, man. Give my guy Rager a break, man.
Yeah.
We're gonna see what he do next year. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how he didn't show heart last year, but I think he shows up next year.
Wow. Before that. Heart?
Yeah, where was the heart missing?
Oh.
You want to finish a route one time?
I mean, that's where you can start it.
You want to jump for a ball one time?
There was times there was heart shown, and there was other times he quit. And that's part of
Where did he quit though?
Well, if you don't finish a route, that's a quit. When you talk about the fan base,
That's old school talk, but go ahead. I'm listening.
Well, careful. Then you gotta play. I'm saying this.
You gotta play.
The jury's out. There is no set in stone that Jalen Reagor can't play. It's too far. We don't know. So
yeah, we don't know.
You're 100%.
And that's my point. Show some heart. We don't know what he has yet.
Agreed.
Right.
I'm not one way or the other on him yet. Truthfully, I'm not because I know young wide receivers take a minute. Some are impact right away, and some take a minute. I'm praying. A minute. I'm praying.
Right.
JJ, we thought, take a minute. I mean, he's still taking umbrella minutes. I mean, it's still raining. So I don't know. I can't say it forever for you, but first off, JJ, it's make the team play well or bye, and for Reagor, it's you got that one more year too. So he has but you got to be on the field for 17. Starts there, and you got to be productive. Has to be explosive. I didn't see the explosiveness that I was promised, and punt returns don't count.
I saw some explosive. I saw separation in his route. Now, did he miss the ball? Did he drop a couple balls? But I saw separations when he had the chance to really take up that stride. But hold on, go back to that last comment about Miles. We're not dogging Miles at all. Like I think Tom said that before. You know what I mean? It's just that when Miles comes out and talks the way that he does, you need to show up on the football field. It's really that simple. You got to back up what you're saying. And in this city, you don't get a pass. Just like when the head coach of the Eagles came on here talking about, oh, we're going to be a smart football team because we're going to be smart. Like, no, motherfucker. You need to come here and say the shit right from the get-go. The perception is everything. Your first impression is everything. Let's not get it twisted. I am pro Miles Sanders all the way. But if you come out here, you got to at least give me 1,000 yards before you start talking, right? And then Reagor, I'm not saying I'm Team Reagor, but we didn't see like this team was a sham last year. So I don't know what Reagor is really. I saw some flashes on the good side, and like Tom said, we saw some things not on the good side. Mm-hmm. The jury's still out. You know what I mean? So John, make sure you hit that like button, John.
Yeah, hit that. Johnny knows this. Johnny, listen. The jury's out on all of them. I'm team middle right now. You understand? I'm team I don't know. I don't know who Miles Sanders is. I don't know what Jalen Reagor is. I don't know what Dallas Goedert is. I'm team I don't fucking know anymore, Johnny.
You know what team I'm on? I'm still drafting somebody if they're better than these guys. Right? I mean, like to all your points, right? Especially Miles. Najee Harris is there in the second round. I'm running that card up, and I don't run anywhere, right?
I don't know about that one.
Speed walking, Greg?
Yeah, sure, right? Walking my putt in, and here you go. There's actually made a couple. But same thing, like the first round, if the wide receiver's there, I'm not taking him because, Jalen Reagor's there. I'd rather Jalen hit, and then we hit with Smith, and now we can go to work.
And see, you bring up a good point, Greg, because how many times did we talk about last draft? Like for example, like the running backs. Like when we took a quarterback at 52, everyone was saying, "Oh, you can't take Dobbins at 52 because you already have Miles, or you can't take a wide receiver because you already have this guy." But you have teams like Baltimore or Indianapolis that are like, "Oh, we already have Marlon Mack. Oh, we already have Mark Ingram. Oh, but we're going to draft another guy on top of that. You know why? Because it makes our team better."
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Where these aren't made men.
Have enough weapons.
I think that's our biggest point is that the disappointment thing, at least from Tom and I would say a lot of people, was that Miles Sanders had a good half season. That was it. A really good half season. Then he immediately started talking about MVP, breaking Shady McCoy's record, etc., and he didn't do it. Did he show flashes? Yes, but not the flashes that you need from a bell cow, which he was supposed to be, which Doug Peterson and Deuce Staley structured this running back core to be. That's the issue.
The black line. You know what the injury rate in the NFL is? 100%. Okay? So guys get banged up. Nobody's being critical of guys getting banged up. But I'm critical when guys don't put their foot in the ground. I'm critical when guys talk and don't get it done. I'm critical when coaches don't trust guys. When you put the ball on the turf 1,000,000 times last year. So everybody can tell me about the amount of carries he got, etc. Part of it was coaching saying, you know what? You haven't got it done, and holding guys accountable. All right. And the other part was injuries. You can't control injuries, right? But if you're getting banged up all the time, it becomes a problem because your best ability is availability. And there's plenty of guys who go through years that don't get banged up. Nobody's out on Miles Sanders. Okay. I'm not calling him soft because he get hurt. I called him soft because he doesn't put his damn foot in the ground. People don't listen. Shit. Could be clear.
Yeah. And then the crazy thing about it, he said, he didn't have 170 attempts. I just looked it up. He had 164. Like, come on, man. We're reaching right now. We're reaching just to talk. We're reaching.
164. How many? And I know his yards per carry were good because there was long runs. Listen, you can look at the stats all day, and you can watch balls hit the fucking turf in the National Football League.
Also, how many freaking quarters and games did he literally disappear? And everyone says, "Oh, that was the coaching staff." You know why? Because they did not trust him. They did not trust him. That was on Deuce Staley. You know, the same guy that 95% of the fan base, it feels like, wanted him to be the head coach. That's the same guy who did not trust Miles Sanders in the fourth quarter or game-winning drives against the Bengals. Took him out of games. Was flipping out on Miles on the sidelines.
Listen, you fumble on opening drives, that gets your ass benched. Simple. So you talking me carries and all this. When you lose trust, you don't get carries. And what's Miles' MO going back to Penn State? Putting the ball on the turf. It ain't new. This is just
and just to add what you guys are saying, so we're playing with the numbers and stats. He was tied for third in the league with most fumbles for running backs. And that's with less games. We got Dalvin Cook in front of him. We got Zeke, who they all go 16 games strong. Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, Dalvin went 14, and then Melvin Gordon had 15 games. You know what I mean? He only had it. Remember, he had only 107 carries. Them guys had like 250 to 300. Yeah. Come on.
We can
all play with numbers. We can all play with numbers, bro.
Yeah. Exactly. We all love Miles, and nobody's saying that we should trade him. We don't want him on the football team. But I think people need to calm down when we talk about transcendent or bell cow. And to Greg's point, if there's a way to get better running back core-wise, he's not a protected man. So everyone, if they take somebody in the second or the third that can make their team better, nobody should be flipping out. Oh, this disrespect to Miles Sanders. Nope.
And I'm done talking about Miles Sanders. So you guys can keep commenting and let him come play. I know about Herbig. I know about all the Rads. I know it.
He played decent.
Come on, guys.
Herbig was actually a bright spot a little bit.
Yeah, Herbig and Driscoll, I like those two.
Yeah.
They're not starters, but we got a little depth with them.
Matt Pryor, different story. Herbig, okay.
How about rugby guy Jordan Mailata for that stretch of games?
No, he was fine.
Yeah,
but then we decide, hey, let's put Jason Peters back, and everything will be all hunky dory from there. But oh well.
Yeah, ask Ralph about that one.
Jason Peters, Ralphie?
Not doing it again.
Oh, you must be.
Dillard's time to shine this year, fellas. All right.
So, you guys want to get into what was that, Tom?
I hope so, Ralphie. I really do. I hope Diller can play. Fuck.
Yeah. Big reason why I don't want to take a friggin' tackle because I need to figure out who this guy is.
That's why you don't think anything on the opposite side of football, essentially, even though I disagree with the poll, just because you got a lot to figure out. But
yeah,
well, I think because nobody's trying to we want to find out who the wide receivers are, but I think because a good amount of us believe in Smith so much, it's like, okay, well, we want to figure out who Rager and all these guys are, but Jesus, if Smith's there, okay, you know what I mean? John, you okay today, John?
Where you hitting?
You all right, John?
Yeah.
Were you with Lenny?
You get those Lenny pills.
Were you with Lenny?
I think he has a good chance of being a good rotational guy, if not a starter somewhere. If not here, I don't know. But a future star in the making, I think, is I think out of pocket. But that's fine. Believe that. Talk it into existence. I won't be mad at it, John.
Ralph will, because that'll come at Dillard's expense.
You sound like Black Lion. You sound like you're calling him Barry. I'm just kidding. We appreciate the love. We appreciate all the comments from everybody. This is Agree to Disagree Radio. It is built for disagreements. It's not built for kumbaya. So, mocking. Mock 8. My bad, Johnny.
You're back, John. You're clear. You passed
Thanks,
the
John.
No, but seriously, did you get any good stuff from Lenny?
Who's going to
I hope not, Sam. I hope that's not true. One guy was a rugby guy. The other guy was a first rounder.
Yeah. What were you going to say, Rye, before that?
No, I was just going to ask you guys if you wanted to get in your rankings. Biggest needs for draft.
Oh, yeah. We were supposed to do that, weren't we?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. When was
I
that?
guess we can do that.
Then we'll talk.
Yeah, I was going to say that way we can just move on to Phil's. Ralphie, I'll start with you.
Damn it.
So just give us – you weren't ready?
No,
Of course
I'm ready.
he's not ready.
I'm ready.
Just give us 1 through 5.
Number 1, obvious, linebacker.
Wow.
Number 2, wide receiver. Number 3, cornerback. Number 4, safety. Number 5, running back. Is my top 5. Do you guys agree or disagree with that list?
Well, you just saved me a couple minutes because those are the same 5 positions I have, but in a different order.
Oh, okay.
Well, what's your order, Frank? The order makes
That's the whole point, Frank.
Yeah, that's the whole
I'm about to
point.
say, hold on, Frank. What do we do?
Frank, it's
What are
okay.
you opting out, Frank? That's the whole
No.
point of the friggin' segment.
I'm just
Of course, guys are going to have the same positions. They're going to be in different orders. Oh, my God.
If you don't have the same positions, then what positions do you have? Quarterback?
Frank, gotta look
Hunter.
at that list, Frank.
He's got long snapper at 4.
Were you with Lenny? Were you with Lenny? I mean, God.
John Dorabas is not
everybody was
coming
with Lenny
back.
tonight.
Frank said I got the same positions, just in different order.
Yeah, okay. I think that's everybody.
Frank's looking at the long snapper from Illinois State in the 7th round.
No.
Frank, I thought you had kicker 1. My apologies.
No.
Greg, go ahead, brother.
All right. So mine are pretty much the same, just a different order.
Really?
I'm going to go linebacker, D end, cornerback, wide receiver, and then I'm going to go center / interior offensive line.
Okay.
Nate.
Hold on, I'm still making my list off your list.
Frank, since you have the same 5 positions but in a different order, what's the
All
order?
right. So I'm going to go linebacker 1, corner 2, wide receivers 3, safety 4, running back 5.
All
Wow, you think we need a running back after the Howard signing?
I think he's toast.
I'm not going to take somebody.
Yeah.
I think we take somebody. I think the
I love
Jordan
I
Howard
love
deal.
J-Ho, but
I mean, I love Jordan, but I think it's just I think it just could be just a possible camp body. I mean, I don't know. I think the time's up for him. I think we go for somebody in the draft. Maybe a Javonte Williams, maybe a Chuba Hubbard. I know people talk about Najee Harris, but
I love me some Chuba though.
I do love Chuba.
Styles, that's
Styles.
amazing.
Thank you, brother.
We do,
Thank
Styles.
you.
That's
We
the
do need a
That's
kicker, but not in
amazing.
this draft.
No.
It's not even like a deep. There's only
Styles,
3
that's number
kickers in
6.
the draft.
I
That's
was
number
waiting
6.
I knew Frank. I knew you would know the kicker rankings
There's
of the draft.
like,
Do you have,
there's like
do you have
3
the
of them.
40s on them?
No,
What is
Okay.
Sarah Fuller's 40 time, Frank?
I don't even know.
Chris Lyons is getting so upset right now by the kicker slander. I can
Waiting for him to show up in the chat randomly.
be so upset with
I
this.
just gotta say, from personal experience, Chris was a terrible kicker.
Somebody clip that.
He was a terrible kicker,
Fair.
and he'll tell you too.
I got mine. If I'll go different than everybody, I think.
Yeah, go ahead, Tommy.
Let's see. I'm gonna go.
Well, let me go first, Tom, before you say it.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead, Nate.
Finish
Yeah,
off.
let me go. I got corner, receiver. I actually switched my third because I went corner again, but I'm gonna go center because I actually like the interior line because they were already talking about trading Brooks. Kelsey's on the fence on when he's ever going to retire. So I think that's actually a need there. We definitely need a defensive end for sure. You know, we don't have much pass rush. And then I actually put 5 as quarterback, man. I'm not, like I said, I'm not a big Jalen Hurts, man. They need a developmental quarterback back there that fits what Sirianni is looking for.
Tom, did I call it? Did I friggin' call it earlier?
The development.
I don't disagree. I just don't think they're drafting one this year.
The developmental quarterback. I mean, isn't he the guy you drafted in the second round last year?
No.
Oh,
He's
you
not.
don't. Oh, we okay. We won't
because he's not Nick's guy, right? He's not a Nick, sir. You know what I mean? He's not what Nick would draft. He's he's a passover, right? He's getting passed down and saying Nick's going to look at his skill set. What can I do with Hurts to fit what I do? But I think they still need another guy behind Hurts that's going to come up in the system that would fit what Nick is looking for. We don't know if Hurts is the skill set that Nick would be looking for. We can't say that.
I draft him next year when I have 3 first-round picks and I can maneuver. I don't draft him this year. I just don't. I got way other positions.
Who's behind Hurts right now?
Great job.
Flacco.
Yeah.
Like I said, who's behind Hurts right now? You know what I mean? Like, who's behind Hurts right now?
Draft a quarterback, it probably won't happen until like the later rounds where
I wouldn't mind a third or fourth round guy. But you're talking about Flacco, who's what, 38, 37?
23 or 24. Let him play. He should be young enough to play it. Shouldn't be sitting out games. He gets a full year to prove himself. And if he ain't the guy, then we go get him next year.
Yeah, I think they will, though. You know the Eagles.
Yeah.
Quarterback factory, right?
Yeah.
Tom, since you said you'll go a little different, I'll go mine real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Thanks, Ralphie. I've got cornerback 1, linebacker 2, receiver 3, running back 4, safety 5.
Nice.
Thanks, Frank.
I got corner 1 too, depending on who it is. I got wide receiver 2, but then I go O-line. Same with Nate. I went D-line. And
Same with Nate.
Well, that's why I tried to go. You know what I mean? I said I had something different. And then you went, and I was cursing you out. And
that's why I went first, because I knew we would be similar. You know what I mean? So that's why I was like, let me get mine in first before everybody agrees with Tom, because at the end of the day, they need to agree with Moss.
I'll go running back last as my 5th.
Yeah,
you know you wanted to go quarterback. You know you wanted to go QB.
No.
Yeah, he did. He wanted to go QB.
He wanted to go. He had to think about it. He's like, let me switch it up. He wanted to go QB.
And the reason I like the O-line, D-line there is because they usually draft them well later on. So,
typically, yeah.
Yeah, so that's like well. So stick to what you do well.
The only reason why I didn't have O-line in there is just I kind of like our depth right now. You know what I mean? Like, I know Kelsey's only got 1 year, but I know that worst comes to worst, Ciamalo can slide over because that's what he played in college. I like Driscoll as a backup to Lane. I like having Mailata as kind of that swing guy backup on both of the tackles, especially if Dillard sucks. And to Greg's point earlier, I don't hate Herbig. You know what I mean? So, like, I actually kind of like the depth. But I get what you're saying, Tom, like, not just this season, but going forward, like knowing Brooks's injury history and Lane's and Jason Kelsey moving on and the questions with Dillard, I understand it.
Yeah, you're not going to draft 3 of them, but you could draft 1.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, you could draft 1.
Yeah, and that was my thought too, especially on that interior side, right, where the trade talks or cuts of Brooks are out there. You know, what do we do with Lane Johnson? To me, is untouchable just because his contract is already so backloaded, it'd be insane. But how is this Kelsey's truly last year? I think yes, right. And then say flip that over to the defensive side of the football. Brandon Graham, although he signed the extension, we know that was more just of a money push, right? So he's getting up there in age, although he does seem so far to be kind of bucking that trend of, we got the best Brandon Graham now, right, than earlier in his career. Yeah. How much longer do we keep Fletch? I would keep him, but, the contract might not say keep him, right? Mm-hmm. So there's definitely some depth issues because after Graham and then Sweat and Barnett, what do you got? Sharif Miller?
Oh.
That was a good miss, right?
Yeah.
Like, you got nothing. Jannard Avery's now a linebacker. Like, cheese and crackers.
There's no hurt styles. There's just let them play this year, and we're going to find out. Mm-hmm. I don't call that hate. I call that giving the guy the keys for the year. Go prove that you're an NFL top 15 guy. Time's yours.
It must be getting late because time's getting nice. Fuck that. Styles, I'm hating on Hurts. Fuck that. I'm hating on Hurts, man. Did you see those last games? Are you serious? No, man. I'm not sliding no slander for anybody else. I'm not laying down. I'm calling it how it is. I haven't been a Jalen Hurts fan since we drafted him. Wasn't a Jalen Hurts fan in Alabama. I respected him for what he did in Oklahoma and what he did. I respect him of the man and the player that he is off the field. But on the field, you got to win from the pocket. And I ain't seen that yet. I agree. We still need. We got work to do. I
agree, but that's why you find out. Let's find out. That's my whole point.
Yeah, the only part about that I'll disagree was his time in Oklahoma. I think you and me can put up those numbers at Oklahoma with the Big 12 playing defense out there.
Oh, yeah.
Well, he made that shit look easy.
But
I might have to work for mine.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Red Sand. So
talking sports with Manny. Thank you.
Thank you, Manny.
Thank you. Is that Washington State or Washington, D.C., brother?
Greg, you want to take this one? Red Sand says Sharif Miller wasn't a miss. He was a
third-round pick.
Third
round.
Yeah.
And he's not even on the roster, bro.
And Red Sand, you can absolutely miss on a late-round pick. You made the pick.
Fun fact about that draft, too.
We don't have any players left?
And no, it was a defensive loaded draft class, and Sharif Miller was the only defensive pick we made in that draft.
Yep.
And a miss.
Swing and a miss. Like Fernando Tatis.
Oh, too soon.
Oh, sorry. DC, awesome. Thank you. Thanks for chiming in, brother.
I guess you can't miss on maybe like a 6th or a 7th. Maybe
a 6th and a 7th, I would agree. There's no miss there.
There's no miss.
Yeah, 5th maybe borderline. You can't miss. I think anything past the 3rd round is like hit or miss in my eyes. Always has been. Like them rounds are like really hit or miss in a bigger way. Like more misses than hits. You know what I'm saying? So, but the first 3 money rounds, you better hit.
Yep.
That's red money rounds. I call them the money rounds. First 3, you can get it. You can get gold jackets. I'm not saying you can't after that, but it's a lot harder to. You know what I mean? Comes a lot harder to. There's always diamonds in them roughs, but it's harder to.
All right, 4th. Okay, so he's a 4th round pick. Still a miss.
Yeah, miss when you can't even play. Oh.
You said he's not on the roster. Did he get traded? He's just not on the roster.
He got cut.
He got cut, and now he's with Arizona, which, I mean, it's Arizona.
He was an inside guy, right?
No, he's a DN.
Was he Temple?
Yeah.
Temple,
No,
right?
Penn State.
Penn State?
Yeah.
All right.
Ralphie, was that the same draft we drafted Clayton Thorson in the 5th?
Yes. It was the same draft. It was the Miles Sanders draft, the JJ draft, the Clayton Thorson draft.
Oh, ton of hits over there.
I think Sharif and Clayton Thorson got cut on the same day.
Yeah, it was Dillard, JJ. No, Dillard, Miles, JJ. Sharif and Clayton. That's it. It was 5 picks in that draft.
Yeah.
First 2 rounds are expected to contribute somehow. Yeah, absolutely. Black line.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. And next year, 3 first rounders, you expect to say, okay, we could be really good going into 2022. That's our target date. That's our target date. A lot of money, a lot of picks. So,
if the Jalen Hurts experiment doesn't work, right, we could be sitting there just like maybe not the number 1 overall pick, but we could be sitting there with the same type of capital as the Jacksonville Jaguars right now, right? You have a buttload of money in cap, and you got a buttload of capital in draft slots. So you could be able to do whatever you want.
Yep.
How can you say next year's draft doesn't have anyone in it? What are you guys talking about?
I hate that.
Like, oh, there's no quarterbacks. There's no this. Like, dude, Joe Burrow wasn't going to be a top pick before that year at LSU. I mean, there's always guys who step up.
But who cares about the draft though? Why you would go out and trade for Russell Wilson, right? Or Deshaun Watson if he gets over all this stuff, right? I mean, everyone's available. When you have that type of money and that type of draft assets, everyone's available.
We'll be sitting in 12 months.
Cliff Kingsbury gets fired, you can go get Kyler Murray.
Or we'll be sitting here in 12 months, Greg, and it'll be one year closer to the Jordan Love era in Green Bay, and people will be like, "Oh, we're going to trade for Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah,
we're going to trade for Aaron Rodgers."
And Tommy is spot on. There's always guys that jump up. Always guys.
You know the most. You remember the most hyped recent wise, hyped quarterback.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just saying the most hyped quarterback class in the last handful of years. It was the Mariota Jameis Winston draft.
Yep.
How did both of those pan out?
It's not
always. What are you talking about hyped guys?
Not always them top quarterbacks. And I'll tell you one other thing, right? The reason guys jump is that anybody played any freaking sports, either in high school or in college, would know this. That I always talk about the NFL, your junior year needs to be your bust out year. That's when you make a big jump, right? And when a lot of these college football players, they make big jumps from sophomore year to junior year. And that's where they make jumps, and that's where they get on big boards. And then other guys make big jumps from junior to senior year, right? It's all about, you hit the weights harder. You're getting stronger. You're becoming more of an adult. You're getting more, you know what I mean? You're getting more man strength, right? It's just natural. It's a natural progression. It's common sense. Some guys come right in as freshmen and they're pimps, right? Other guys develop into studs. It's the way it goes. The way it freaking goes. You have no idea. Nobody has no idea. Besides of guys that played like this past year, and you're going to see it. Like, I don't know. We can get into that. That could be a whole other show. Not the case.
Phil's talk, anyone?
Giddy up.
Wow, what a great segue.
Yeah, there's
5-1 right now. I love it.
Yeah.
So let me bring up the poll and get right into it.
Different ways of winning, too, if you look at it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we're going to get on all that, Greg. Rhys Hoskins' hot start is the biggest surprise of the Phillies season so far. Agree or disagree? Everybody tuning in, hit that like, hit that subscribe. If you're tuning out because the Eagles are over, make sure you hit that like and subscribe before you head out of here. All right? Don't be jabrones. Let's go. The biggest surprise for the Phillies season so far, Rhys Hoskins. I disagree because, Rhys is proven to be able to get hot before and hit the ball. And so that's like nothing like extremely new, right? My biggest surprise per se is this bullpen. If why not? They've got outs.
Yeah.
They got outs. We talk about getting outs all the time. I need outs, right? I need outs. And today you got to go 5 innings, right? Got to go 5 innings. And you come in, you get outs. And then you let the offense add on and have big innings like they did, right? So that's my biggest surprise. I expect this team to hit. I expect our starters to pitch well for the most part. The biggest question mark was this bullpen, right? And so far, so good. It becomes contagious. Getting outs are fun, right? So the more guys that come in and don't get smoked all around the yard, the more confidence guys start to get, right? And start to get in their roles. Hector Neris has looked good, right? These guys have came in and legitimately Alvarado, right? Yeah, Alvarado's pitched extremely well. So I mean, I don't know.
Yes.
Gas on the left side. We got guys that come in and throw hard. And
When have we ever been able to say that? Right? Billy Wagner was the last one.
Yeah,
that just came in and threw absolute gas.
Yep.
Everybody else has bullpens of guys throwing high 90s, except for the Phillies.
All time.
We talked about that on Monday, Tom. It was like Kruk was talking about how refreshing it is just to see guys come out of the pen who just throw hard. Like, that's all we asked for.
Even Vinny. I hate Vinny, right? But Vinny had a good first inning. Vinny, because this is Vinny. I tell people this. Yep. Vinny will have a good first inning. That's it. His leash is one inning. That's why I always thought he'd be a setup man or a closer. Because in one inning, he'd come in and throw and dial it up, let it fly. But when you start getting him to 30 pitches, he's going to get shelled. And that's him as a starter, too. You didn't even need to get through the lineup a second time. He got shelled the second inning.
Yeah.
All the time.
It was so crazy the night and day out of him, just because it reaffirmed what we all saw.
Yeah. The bullpen is sticking their foot in the
ground.
Flat out. 27 outs. How do we get them? Well, you sure as hell don't get them like you did last year. Right. You ain't finding a way to get there.
And think back to some of these games already, right? DeGrom down 2-0. The bullpen last year comes in, and that game goes to 8-0. Yep. It doesn't stay at 2-0. Today, Aaron Nola doesn't have his best stuff. Didn't pitch well. Had to gut his way through 4 innings. And then our bullpen comes in, keeps the door shut till our offense is able to get a little breathing room. Like, that's a different team.
Did you see how many people were panicking about that? I'm sure you did, Tom.
Of course they did.
About the Nola thing. Like, in a win, when the bullpen did their job, something we haven't been able to get them to do in years, which was save us. People were still panicking about the Nola. Oh, an ace doesn't throw 4 innings. We won the game.
Yep.
We won.
That's what I said to a friend. They were like, "Oh no, it's pitched well today." And I looked at my phone and I'm like, "Wait, we're still winning, right?"
We won the game.
We did.
Yeah, my thing about Noah is today, remember something. You know, he faced the Braves, pretty good lineup.
Yep.
Mets, pretty good lineup. So he's not facing shit teams here. They can hit the baseball. So what I'll say is, he didn't have his best stuff, but he battled, and he didn't allow that big inning to happen against him. And then it's like, hey, somebody pick him up. This is baseball throughout the year. Somebody pick him up. He's going to pick this team up at times. Other people got to pick each other up. Good teams. Good Woodrow, James Frankie. Good teams, right? Good teams pick each other up in baseball. Every sport. But really, baseball, when you talk about 162, you have to pick each other up. You have to. If you want to win a division, baby. Simple. His next outing, he's probably lights out.
And I agree with you boys about the bullpen. I didn't get a chance to see the game, but I just had to look at the numbers to make sure I was looking at, to get with the poll. And I actually agree with the poll. When you look at the numbers, he's, Ryan Hoskins had the most at bats, got the highest batting percentage, OPS, on base percentage. Everything's through the roof. Without JT hitting that 3-run shot later today, he would be leading in RBIs as well. So I actually agree. Now, like you said, Tom, if I remember correctly, we've seen Rhys Hoskins get hot. But I think out the gate, when there were so many question marks about him with his injury coming in, I actually agree to the poll here that he's the hottest Phillies of right now. And I love what the bullpen's doing. That was always a sore thumb the last couple of years. But I think Ryan is actually really helped me on my baseball lingo. But I think he's protecting Harper by being so hot in that 3-hole. It makes pitchers have to really pitch around him, not around him, but really have to pitch to him. And then you got Harper right behind him. Then you got who's the Alec guy? Alec, yeah. And then you got JT. Well, how's the lineup go? It goes McCutcheon. Who's in the 2-hole?
Rhys
Hoskins. Yeah, Rhys.
Hoskins.
Oh, Rhys is in the 2.
Then Harper's in the 3. JT.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Okay, my bad.
No, but you're still right in your premise, right?
Yeah.
The thought process is still right.
Yeah, I thought it was in 3. I thought Harper was back. So 4 is cleanup, right?
Yeah.
So I thought Harper was batting cleanup.
They're deep where they like protect each other because it's like you gotta you almost can't pitch around guys, right? So it's a lineup built for that. Listen, the fact of the matter is, it's not just that he's hot. To your point, Nate, it's that he's taking the ball the other way. And for any big leaguer to be on, you got to be living middle away, right? To be on. That's when guys get hot, when they start hitting homers away, right? Because that means they're really seeing baseballs. They're letting baseballs travel, right? Crucker always talks about him rolling it over and rolling his top hand over. Well, that's because he's early on everything. He's not letting baseballs travel. So when you don't let baseballs travel, you roll. So he let things get deep into the zone, they say, right? And then you start living away. Same thing with Harp. When Harp's going great, he's hitting the ball in the middle of the field away. Watch, when Harper starts hitting like 10, 12 home runs in a month, his first one's going to be middle away. You can book it. And he's scorching. Yep. So that's a big surprise. Not a surprise, but it's good to see. So I agree to that for sure.
Sam, to your question, Nola exited the game in a tie game. That's why he didn't get the win.
Lost the lead, yeah.
Well, he didn't go 5-2. You got to go 5.
No, it was in the opener where he did go. He went 6 2/3 in the opener. Today, yes, it was the innings count. Yes.
Well, and Tom, to your point too, I think it was Battalica who was talking about it on their post game, that the interesting thing, aside from what you mentioned about him, the swing play and everything, about him not pulling everything, it's that Rhys Hoskins is hitting off of different types of pitches. You know what I'm saying? It's not the same placement, to where that's talking about his swing plane isn't on this. You know what I'm saying? It's not the same as it was before, to where he's able to get, he's able to hit this pitch here, this pitch here.
You're going to trigger me. We thought it was sling planes. You know what I mean?
I was waiting for it.
That was Metallica. I didn't say that. That was Metallica.
He kept saying some trigger words a couple of times. I was waiting for the mic to come down and
Ricky, stick to the bullpen, Ricky. Stick to the bullpen. Swing planes. I love these guys nowadays. 2021 baseball swing planes.
Rhys sounds like Gabe Kapler.
Hey, I'm reading what's on the prompter. I'm
goddamn baseball.
Well, it's the wrong prompter.
I know that now.
Listen, he's like baseball travel is the simplest way to say it, and he's barreling them up. And
finally.
Yeah.
It's been 3 years since Harper got here.
Yeah, I'm going to also disagree to the poll. Before today, if you would have told me Rhys was leading, and I'm sure today had a lot to do with it, right? But if you had told me Rhys was leading in offensive categories just by watching the games, I would have been like, yeah, that's cute. Like, okay. You know what I mean? Like, I've seen this act from Rhys before. I'm hoping it stays on, but you can't overlook, and the pitching in general, right? The pitching in general. We got 3 stud starts out of our aces in that first series. We got a decent start out of Matt Moore and Chase Anderson. Guts, you know what I mean? Like, that's what you expect out of your 4th and 5th guys. And then the bullpen, so far, except for Vinny Velasquez, has been really damn good.
Yeah.
Vinny was lights out for 1 inning, by the way.
Yeah.
Just like when he started,
Yeah.
Just when he was a starter, you knew when you got into the second, hey, let's get a lefty up, let's get a righty up, let's get these guys moving in the bullpen.
Yeah.
Buzzy, you're absolutely right, brother.
I know it was only one game. Were you guys overly surprised at what we saw Eflin in his first game? How good he looked?
No.
Okay.
No, that was what I expected out of him. That's the jump I wanted.
Right? He
What's
did
that
that in spring training. I said he did that in spring training. He looked good in spring training.
Yeah.
Yes.
He is good. He is good.
Yeah.
So it's just like, does he turn himself into like an ace caliber pitcher? Because if he can, then this whole division better watch out. I don't know if he can. I'm just saying, like, if he can, then we're having a different conversation here about where this team should be.
I'll just take him as a consistent number 3, because when's the last time we had a reliable number 3? Before we had to rely on Arrieta.
The
if Eflin turns into like that, like you were saying, Tommy, we're 90+ wins. I mean, Jesus. Our lineup can show already through 6 games we can put up more than 6 runs almost every game. And our starting pitching has looked good so far.
And the biggest thing, we are 5-1 without a Bryce Harper like hitting cover off the baseball talk.
Yeah.
Yep. So remember that we're 5-1, and that dude ain't scorching hot yet. So just wait for that, right?
He had a seed today, but that was it.
Yeah.
No, I mean, he was 2 for 4 today because he had the bunt. which was
Right.
great. I love to see it, right?
And we sat here all off season too, or in spring training, and we knew the lineup could hit, day in and day out. Just the big question mark was the bullpen. Can the bullpen keep the leads when it's 6-3 and 3-2 going into the 7th? And so far through 6 games, they've been able to do that.
Yeah.
And this game was the biggest example of it. I believe, Tom, you mentioned it earlier. It's that, we had like a 7-2 lead, a 7-1 lead. And in the past, especially with the bullpen having to pitch so many innings, in the past, you would see that lead disappear. You know what I'm saying? We would always put up 5, 6, 7, 8 runs, but it would quickly disappear. The fact that we were able to sustain it for so long and get away with having that 5-run lead was huge. And if that's going to be kind of the norm going forward when, a Nola struggles or, the guys at the back end of this starting rotation kind of struggle, then this is going to be, that's awesome. That's awesome because it's going to take pressure off of obviously the offense having to score 10 runs to compete. Yep. And also it's going to give us, kind of confidence as a fan base saying, well, damn, we don't have to worry about 8-7 losses, 9-8 losses. It's like, okay, if we put up 6, 7, 8 runs, we're feeling good about ourselves.
No, if this bullpen and starting rotation leave this team in baseball games, they're going to win a lot of games because they will have crooked innings on your ass. Mm-hmm. So, and you see 2 of them today, and even more so, Noah left 4-1. So, right, I don't remember when JT hit his homer. But they had to go back out. Brogdon had to come in and get them and throw in a 4-1 game too. Mm-hmm. So they they went to their pen up 4-1, which is another good sign. Like to leave it, like you're saying, leave it there, leave it right there.
I think he had it. What Tom, in the 6th? JT?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, the 6th.
Yeah, so they had to get 3 outs before they went there.
Mm-hmm.
Or no,
hey fellas, before I get out of here, I'm looking. I thought of something you said, Tom. Over 90 games. I went to go look up the odds here where the Phillies stand. Over and under, they have them at 8.5. Would you put that bet in?
I would load up.
Yeah, right now.
I already put it in right before the season started. 80. Yep, I'll take it.
This is baseball. That shit means nothing. And if it's
I
still,
like it.
It's still at 80. Oh,
I like it. I'll make sure I'll update it Friday nights. Money Pop Podcast on A2D Radio at 10:30. The takeover is coming. Make sure y'all guys check in. Friday nights just got better, and I'll have that as one of the poll questions. Phillies over 80.5, and we'll have our bet live 10:30 at night, fellas. It's always a pleasure.
Later, see you, brother.
Later,
see you.
But I love this team, guys. I like the way it's built. And just like the Sixers we talked about, like if moves need to be made, they'll be made. Now I don't know. Now George.
By the way, he hit in the 5th inning to put them up 7-1. So
5th, okay.
Right after Nola got taken out, yeah.
Well, no, then they had to go to the pen and get 3
yeah.
out. Then they hit it. So they went to the pen up 4-1 and got 3 outs, which is huge. Get right back up. Boom. You know what I mean? Lose another. This lineup's going to hit a lot of home runs. So,
and what's funny too, Tom? Talking about going opposite and Bryce getting, being scorching hot, right? Yeah. He didn't get a hit last night, but remember when he came up in that big spot at the end of the game, and he made it out. But where'd that ball go? Right? He took a good at bat, 2 strike. I think it was 2-2, and he hit a hard ball to left center.
Yeah, he did.
And then he comes back first at bat and hits a seat off the fence. So. It to your point, what we've always said about Bryce, right? Live away. Hope Rhys is hot now. JT's getting a feeling. Alex going. Now we're waiting for Bryce, and he's not far off either, right? You know what I mean? Like
no, and I expect Andrew to hit.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I had a nice gift triple today.
Yep, and I expect Didi to hit. I expect Gene to hit. Yeah, I expect these guys to hit. These guys are pro hitters.
And like you said,
Gene showed up in game 1, right?
Yeah.
If you're not going to be, scorching hot all the time, which nobody is, come up in big spots, right? I loved hearing Joe talk about Gene in that at bat, right? he was walking to the plate with a mission before he even knew Didi got walked.
Oh, he took it personal.
He absolutely did. And damn right. Like, let's go.
Oh, by the way, have you seen the way he's played second base too?
Amazing.
Yeah.
Early on. Sensational.
Yep.
Sensational. Our middle is really good. Really good. I mean, we already know Didi's a pimp, but like, Gene's moved to second's really good, and Alex has played really good third base. So, I'm very happy. And like we talked about, sophomore year for the kid, can you have another big year? And he's got all the tools to do it. He got all the tools to do it. Can you do it? You know what I mean?
Moonshot today.
Yeah.
Now he's got the great hair. now we're talking. But no, that swing today was.
Yeah.
To your point, Tom, I mean, I'm glad, and I didn't, not that you said or anybody here, but remember all the conversations of, Alec Baum can't be a big-time player for us because he can't play a position. He's a liability in the field. It feels so good like that's not even a thought anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Real quick, who would you guys say is your biggest, like, who's in your doghouse right now so far? I know it's tough because we're 5-1.
Yeah, we're 5-1.
So like,
it's fine. I've seen enough of Roman Quinn. I've seen enough of Roman Quinn. Roman Quinn can.
Really?
I like Roman, but he can pack his bags. I need to lose more baseball.
You can at least put in the entire center field position as well.
I was going to say, Frank, exactly. It's bad. It's
he's
not.
stolen 23 consecutive bases so far. He's right there. He's right there with Utley.
Who?
Roman Quinn.
He's got to get on base first, Ralphie.
Yeah. I just want to do more air up hit the baseball.
Oh no, I'm just busting balls.
No, I know you are. I think, I'll give it another month, but if another month of this, like with them two, it might be time to pull it. You know what I mean? We'll say I give Hazley his run though. Hazley deserves his run. You know what I mean? So, I'll look at the center field position. That's a good call, like the whole thing. But I'll say more Quinn. Like I've seen enough. I know it's 6 games in, but I'm over it.
Shane says that Bryce Harper's in his doghouse.
Okay.
What reason, Shane? Just curious.
Probably he doesn't hit a home run.
Yeah, probably.
His numbers. So everybody calm down. If he plays 158 games like he wants to play, or 162, whatever he wants to do, right? He's going to get his numbers. So I mean, this is going to get 35 homers. So it's great to win games and him not lose baseballs yet.
Yeah.
All right. That's the big key here. That's the big key you should be taking out of it. It's a long season, baby. Let's talk about it with Lenny. This is a dog fight. Mm-hmm. This is the dog days of summer come. It's not easy. So every game matters. And Lenny was talking about that too. Like early on matters. You set a tone, especially the way we're winning games against the teams we're winning games against is even more important.
Yeah, they're in our division.
Shane, I don't care about what he's done yet. We're winning games. He'll be fine. I'm not missing Bryce Harper either. I'll be critical. Trust me. He'll come.
He's not over though. Like
no, he's not in a slump.
Like he's not slumping. Like that's where I'm just curious. Like he's not he hasn't homered yet, but he's got at least 2 doubles.
Eagle Slayer, nobody in the history of the media in this city, I promise you, would be more critical of Bryce Harper than myself. Okay, about inconsistencies. But right now, I'm not going to do it yet. Okay, I'm saving it. I will save it if it happens. So don't worry, it will be handled. But right now, he's the least of my issues.
That's the best part of this line. It's the best part of this lineup is that not everybody needs to be hitting on all cylinders at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Like you can afford Bryce Harper kind of having a little cruise control right now.
McCutcheon's okay. I mean, I'm okay with that name. Like but he's a pro, and it's the reason it's hard. It's 6 games in. Yeah, and you're winning. So who can really be in your doghouse?
Yeah, it's such a tough question, Ron.
That's why I'm here. No, I think it can only be 2 people or 2 things, and that's the center field position and Velasquez, even though he pitched 1 good inning.
Yeah, I think McCutcheon's going to hit.
Mm-hmm.
Harper will hit. All these guys.
And like you said, Tommy, too, like Harper hasn't been, obviously through 6 games so far, Harper hasn't been hitting the ball like, we've known him to be. But this lineup is still putting up, crooked numbers almost every inning. You know what I mean? And they're still hitting without Harper doing his thing. Because the past 2 years, it was, everybody was leaning on Harper to, get the lineup going. so far this year through 6 games, Harper's been, on and off a little bit, and it's a different way. The lineup is constantly getting runs and lifting him up a little bit, putting his numbers in the shadows a little bit.
For sure. And listen, at the end of the day, everybody's going to fall where they fall for the most part. So it comes down to your pitching. I have at least my issues is going to be with this lineup, I'm sure.
Yeah, and the way the lineup is currently constructed, there is protection upon protection upon protection, right? So if you don't want to face Rhys for whatever reason, then you got Bryson. Then if you don't want to face him, you got Jaycee or Alex sitting right there, and then just continues to go down the line. And it's really nice. It's really nice to see the way Joe's currently constructed the lineup right now, because it seems to feed off each other.
Yep, agreed. I agree. It's a really good lineup, and it's a good staff. And what's the bullpen going to be?
Yep.
Right? It's so long. It's crazy.
So we have Braves in Atlanta, and then what? Mets in New York next after that?
Yeah, we go to Braves again.
Yeah.
But these are important games again. Like, can you go to Atlanta now and win 2 or 3? Can you go down there and make a statement again? That's going to be the difference. We're going to find out. You can find out early on. Listen, you can set a damn tone early on and run away with shit too. So go down there, take 2 or 3 again. They're playing a lot of baseball right now. They just played a doubleheader today. Granted, they won both of them, right? But they played doubleheader today, and I'm sure what do they got tomorrow?
Well, they played a double today. That's already 3 in Washington, so they might have an off day.
Yeah, they got an off day.
Let's see. It is.
Yep, they're off.
Yeah, they're off Friday. Yeah.
That's fine. So let's go take 2 or 3, and then we'll worry about the Mets.
But that's to your right though, Tom. That's a lot of baseball. They put an extra inning game 1, a doubleheader today, and I know you get the rest day in there, but it's a rest, stress, travel. How much? And this isn't like a rest day in the middle of the year or the end of the year where you need it, right? This is a rest day right in the beginning of the year where your body's not used to this yet, right? It's kind of like that. That's why I hate that initial rest day after opening day.
Yeah,
because it's just like, all right, let's get up and get going, and then we're gonna sit down again, and then we're gonna get up and get going. Like I hate that from the schedule. I get it from like a weather and scheduling side of it, but that's what the Braves are doing, right? You played a whole bunch of baseball. Now you're gonna sit, and now you're playing a whole bunch more baseball.
It's hard to do.
Who knows what if their bodies are adjusted yet? And hopefully Ozzie Albies is still killing my fantasy team being over, because we could use another over series from Ozzie Albies. That'd be nice.
Well, when you set the tone with your other ace per se, opening the series and Wheeler. So you have an opportunity to set the tone. So you go down there and you set the tone game 1. That's where it starts. And now pressure shifts, because teams think about it in series.
Sure.
Yep. So go take another one, and then that puts you really in a driver's seat early on.
Who do they counter with?
Charlie Morton.
Okay. So I like that matchup.
So we'll see.
So we'll see Morton, Anderson, and
Anderson and hold on, I got you.
Oh my gosh, where's that 4th guy? It's not right, is it?
We'll see Smiley.
Oh, good old Drew. Our buddy Drew.
Gabe Kapler's favorite pitcher, Drew Smiley.
Yeah, but that's as simple as that. I know it sounds easy, but
you should be able to take 2 out of 3. There should be a reason why you can't take 2 out of 3.
No,
none of those pitchers. It's not DeGrom. You know what I mean? It's not DeGrom. It's not even their race, right? In right now in Fried, right? It's not any of those. Charlie Morton's good, but we just beat him. Can we do it again?
Yeah, and listen, it'll be hitting weather in Atlanta, so you don't know about that. It'll be. I'm sure it's in the 80s, or at least feels good. So it's a place to go hit.
Yeah, I think it's real nice in Atlanta, because I know the Masters watching the practice today was they were all in shorts and tees and stuff like that, or tees. Yeah, 78 tomorrow. I mean, rain, but 78, 68. Friday, 78, rain. Saturday, 68, rain. Sunday, 72. So that's baseball weather right there.
Oh, yeah. That's feel good. And then you got to come back and play in New York, so that'll be fun. But hopefully the weather continues to break here.
In that shithole.
James, appreciate it, brother. Getting high watching you guys is always fucking hilarious. Keep up the great work.
Thank you, James.
No, but I think this team's in great shape. Are you guys like overly surprised by the way they played, through the first few series?
No, I just because we've started hot before, obviously, and granted, I think we were all way more confident in this team than we were. Like, obviously, what was it, the 2019 year when we started hot?
Yeah.
And granted, because we have a better roster, better bullpen, and better coaching staff for the most part. But like we've talked about before, I don't want to get too carried away, and nobody is. So like, don't think I'm like taking that at somebody, but like, we just need to continue.
We got the Utah Phoenix game on.
Yeah, I just saw
big
that.
break out of Donovan.
Oh, I'm streaming it. I'll see it in a second. Buzzer beater?
No, they tied a game.
Okay. But no, I'm not overly surprised, Tom. It's just like, and Chrome brought it up earlier. It's like, just keep picking along and winning these series. Take 2 or 3, take 2 or 3, take 2 or 3. And if you can get off to an early lead in this, wow, Donovan, it just happened.
If you go away in 2 or 3 them and go in 2 or 3 against the Mets, oh my goodness.
I might put my 10 on Broad Street.
Like, I'm feeling really good. Really good. I know it's so early, but I'm like,
because of the record, and you're eating up the division.
Yep.
They're the two. We would say they're the two biggest rivals of ours as far as like when you talk about the team stopping us from winning the division, it's the Mets and it's the Braves. I'm not saying the Nationals suck, but we wouldn't put them on the same standard as we do the Braves and Mets. So if you can get up and take care of business against those guys, that's huge.
Yeah, and what I like most about this team so far is the different ways they've won games. Right? Yeah. It's not been the same way. It's the different ways, and you look back at previous years, it's ways we've lost games previous years. So that's where, like, I'm not getting overly excited or surprised in any way, but I do look at that as very encouraging going forward because of the different ways that we're winning games.
What was it, the game on Easter? The game on Easter, Greg, correct? It was 2-1 we won, right?
Yeah.
And Hector was kind of struggling to get out of that. It's kind of like when you talk about the Sixers team when, like, oh, we would have never won this game with Brett Brown. Yeah. We're not winning that game last year.
No.
There's no way.
No, right. You're 100% right. Coaching matters. Having spring training and being able to create a bit of a more of a culture absolutely matters. Unlike last year, all them things factor in. And going and getting real bullpen arms, guys aren't stupid. Big league guys are not stupid. So, guys see it, and I think it makes guys and Harper's comments. I mean, he's obviously the leader of his baseball team. So when he's saying there needs to be a sense of urgency to come out and play great baseball right from the beginning, to see that translate matters to me.
Yep. Red saying, thanks, brother. Appreciate it.
Red saying, that's phenomenal. Uncut like Lenny's Coke. That's great. But that matters. I mean, he understands it, and he's becoming more of a leader as he grows into his prime years here. Now, like did a poll earlier, and we can leave it on this one, right? Not this poll, but the one we had for After Dark. Will he be he will be a top 5 in MVP voting. Do you agree or disagree with that?
Harp?
Yeah. And does he have to be a caveat for this team to be a playoff team?
This isn't a roster where he needs to carry us. Unless everyone around him aren't there. Like, if everyone's doing their jobs, and I'm not saying like everyone needs to be hot, but like if Alec Baum plays consistent, if Realmuto plays like the best catcher in baseball, if McCutchen does what he needs to do, Gene obviously comes up in big spots. Rhys Hoskins does his job. then he doesn't need to be. But do I think he can be? Yeah. Especially if he's getting, like we talked about earlier, the protection around him in the lineup. You know what I'm saying? To where you're going to have to pitch against him.
Yeah, he's just seen a lot more fastballs and hitters counts. And I honestly think he, like the caveat, he needs to be for me to win a division. Like, I think he has to get on scorching hot. Like, this is a long season. He needs to have months where he can't get out almost, right? Like, I need that. So when he is struggling, that all makes up for it, right? Like, you need months where he carries you. And no matter how good this lineup is, I still feel like that because I want to win a division. I just don't want to make the playoffs. I want to win a fucking division. I want that bye. I don't want to deal with all that rest of that shit, right? You know what I mean? You don't want to play like was it a playing game first, right? Almost. Don't they,
the wild card game.
Yeah. I don't want nothing to do with that. We're playing 5-game series here. Calm down. You know what I mean? I want one and done. I want to experience postseason baseball, which is series. So for him to do that, for us to do that, I really believe he's got to hit 40 plus, driving 120 and bat 275, 280, which is all things he's capable of fucking doing.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe not put them top 5, but at least put them top 10. And I think top 10 serviceable enough.
Oh yeah, he at least needs to be in the discussion. He at least needs to.
That's it. Just that guy's a top 10 player in baseball this year.
So
okay. And the lineup should help him with that. So we're talking.
Yeah. Well, so you're saying kind of like what was it, freaking 10, 11 years ago? It's crazy that we're saying this, but like those Howard months where he would just be unconscious for 5 straight weeks.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that.
Get me to the plate, boys.
Yeah.
Yep, right. Like that, he needs to carry. There's a lot of other talent in this lineup, but there's going to be times throughout a season where you're going to look to Bryce Harper to win you games, and that has to happen for us to get to where we want to get to.
Yep, and it should be like that because he's getting paid those big bucks.
Absolutely.
Okay. At the end of the day, when the game's on the line, I want my best hitter up, at the plate. And so far, through these past 3 years, the guy that's making the most money on the team is Bryce Harper, and I need him to be that MVP guy to get us to the playoffs. And I totally agree with what you're saying, Tommy. I don't want to sit there, on a Tuesday night playing a playing game on a wild card. You know what I mean? I don't want to do that. I want to win the division. I want to play a 5 or 7 game series, and let's get this shit rolling.
Absolutely, because we'll get bounced at a one.
Nick.
Yeah, right.
We'll
get bounced. All that fucking work we did in the off season, the season goes to waste.
Nick, thanks for chiming in. Then I appreciate it, bud.
Later, Nick.
I don't want to I don't want to overlook just getting in because obviously, I'll take it. But you know what I mean. But you're 100% right, Ralphie. We'll get 2 hit too. We'll get. You can book that somewhere.
Let's go silence. Nobody can hit in the lineup no more.
No, we'll get 2 hit, 2-0 Nola Gem, right, of old days.
Right. Yeah. Did I see correctly? I'm sorry to change something. Did I see correctly that Sixto was hurt down in Miami? Sixto Sanchez.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I think they optioned him too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not entirely crazy. The option.
No, control. It's all about control.
Because it's all about control.
Oh, and the fact of the matter is, guy who throws 100 plus, they usually get hurt once in a while.
Yeah.
Now did he already have Tommy John, or was that the concern? I just remember those talks when he was here.
It was it was more the concern of him having Tommy John.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he didn't already have. Okay.
No.
Might as well get it. When in Rome.
Well, Tom, did I see you post?
Ohtani, dude.
Well, I was going to say, Tom, didn't you post something the other day saying that it looks like guys throw harder now after the Tommy John?
They have for the last few years at least.
Yeah.
Handful. Guys come back throwing freaking harder than they did. I mean,
Ohtani's up there the other night throwing 102. and
hitting a home run.
Then comes up to bat and hits a bomb.
It's amazing. And I might do a prerequisite on cats like this.
Seriously. I might fake one. Yo, Doc, elbow's messed up, man.
Let me get a freshie in here.
Yeah, right.
Did I order the 101 mile an hour?
Yeah.
I want to order that one.
Can I order the gas? Can I order the gas?
Right? Didn't Verlander just have it again?
I think Verlander's on the second.
Who's the famous surgeon that does all of them?
Andrews, Dr. James
Andrews.
Andrews.
Ralphie Verlander's going to throw 110 when he comes back.
Oh my God!
It's gonna be like Henry Rowengartner.
I have an all-time tweet for you here. I'll post it on A2D socials also, but it says, this was from 12 hours ago. It says, Shohei Ohtani, who threw 101 miles an hour and hit a ball 450 feet a few days ago, is now tied for the lead in stolen bases. Baseball. Nice.
Yep. And you know what? And he's in the perfect league to do it, right? Yep. Pitch 5 innings, Ohtani. But hey, you can bat all 9.
and I feel like we didn't do anything wrong. But remember a couple weeks ago we were talking about like who could be the next like star in baseball, and people were talking about Judge. We completely forgot about this guy.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like, imagine if he stays healthy.
Yeah, well, that's that caveat, right? Yeah. But can he stay healthy? Because he hasn't proven it as a fantasy owner of Ohtani since he came over here. He hasn't lived up to it.
Here we go. Now I know why.
But no, I love the guy. I love the skill set. I love the dual action from him.
162 is hard.
Yeah.
162 is hard.
And it's not as rigorous as it is over in Japan.
Not even close.
The baseball is the same quality or close to quality, but it's not as rigorous.
Somebody said on this tweet, said he was in the top 7 percentile in sprint speed last year. LOL. What even is this guy? Talking about Shohei Ohtani.
Christ, they got percent speeds. What the fuck is going on?
It's the computers. It's the computers.
Yeah.
The magic of analytics.
I figured I'd throw that in there to trigger you.
Yeah, no, I'm triggered out. You're good.
It was like I was telling Tommy today. I was like, my dad last night watching the Phillies game. They were like, "What's this exit velocity stuff?" I'm like, "It's dirt talk." Like, he's like, "What does that have to do with baseball?" I'm like, "Nothing."
And that's why Scott Kingery is in the minors.
A lot of reasons why he's in the minors, Ralphie.
But Tommy, back to your poll question. I agree, and yes. So I agree that Bryce is going to be as the leader of the Bryce fanboy, as the co-chairman, I guess, with Wills. Yeah, I think he can be. And yes, we need him to be. And I agree that the lineup helps him not have to put that pressure on him. But I also want it from, almost a not a spite, but like a big FU, not to like the haters, but like the people still, Harper's overrated, blah, 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 blah. Like that group. You know what I mean? Like, this guy's good. You know what I mean? Like, this guy's really good. And I want him to put it together, right? He puts it together. We're doing things that we want to do as a fan base and as a team. And that's what it really comes down to.
Absolutely. And he is a great player. But he's got to be consistent.
Sure.
And, and this is the prime years to do it. So
absolutely.
He's got a lot to live up to. Hype from day one, but I need a few MVP seasons mixed in here over this, over this contract. Or at least caliber ones. Maybe a 5-piece. You know what I mean? Might need a 5-piece nug.
Yummy nugs.
All right, boys.
Greg, it's officially Masters Day.
It is officially Masters Day.
You guys enjoy Masters Day. Everybody out there, if you haven't, hit that goddamn like button. Hit that subscribe. Stay with us forever. We love having y'all. Tons of comments. We can't thank y'all enough for just chiming in, spending your nights with us.
Oh, 9 more likes. 9 more likes on the YouTube.
Let's go. Great conversation. We talked the Eagles. You can go back and listen to it everywhere we stream live, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. And you can also get it everywhere you get your podcasts as well. So we're there, baby. We're there. But if you want to go right back and listen, you miss Eagles talk, you want to put you to bed with it, we're here to do it, baby. Well, as Lenny says, we're givers. And if you want the Lenny Dykstra interview, that happened on ATD After Dark, right on ATD Radio. Don't listen around to your children.
Headphones needed.
Headphones needed. Put the kids to bed before you listen to it. Everything.
Good stuff.
Great show, guys. Tom Arnone, Ryan Brodo, Frank Vespi, and all the wardrobe changes. Greg Malakovic, Ralph Delvecchio, and the pup that was behind them. Just enjoying life. Love Pops. Everybody out there, you guys are the goddamn best. You drive us, we drive you. Everybody's driving each other. Hand jobs all around. We love you. We're out of here.